Man, hopefully y'all are doing well on this lovely evening. It is your boy Cade. We is back. I know it's kind of late at night. Don't mind me. I know it's 11:03, but that's why we call it the Never Rest Radio because we never rest around here. That's the whole point. As you can see, we're gonna be building some Legos tonight. Um, I may or may not have made our setup a little bit nicer just so that we could actually build Legos at this new setup that we have. Why does it feel like my monitor? Ooh, hello. There we go. Gotta go backwards with my monitor slightly just to give myself some more desk space tonight. Hello, Taco. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. But give me just a second and we'll get flipped over. I'm gonna turn some Spotify on for now until we get everything kind of rocking and rolling. Once we get everything kind of rocking and rolling, then we can actually get going with the improvements to the OBS stream itself, which I will show you once we get there. If you did get in here kind of early, you might have got a little bit of a glimpse of it. So that's on me. That's on me if you did. I wasn't trying to spoil it, but I think I might have. So it is what it is. But we've got two Lego sets tonight that I want to work through. Not 100% sure if we're going to get both of them done. I just figured we would get what we can done and then go from there, basically. Since we don't really have a requirement to complete both of them. One of them is what I got for Christmas, and then one of them is what I got from the Lego store. Hold up. How do I... I'm just going to put myself under the new Lego Batman game on TikTok. Oopsies. Don't mind me. What's the name of it? It's Lego Batman something. Jumping. But no, I've got a little surprise coming up here in just a second that I think y'all might appreciate. If you're trying to get me to pre-purchase NBA 2K27, I'm good. I still have many hours that I could put into 2K26 if I really want to. But if we're looking really for a sports game at the moment, I'm gonna be more on the line of trying to get a college football 27, especially because they added it to Steam this year. So that kind of makes me want it a little bit more. I don't know how well the PC port runs, so I kind of want to look into that before I get too crazy with the Cheese Whiz. Well, okay, if my fucking shit would load on goddamn Steam just slow as shit. Lego Batman. The Legacy of the Dark Knight. Okay, that's what it's called. There's not like I don't know. There's not a fucking category for building Legos. There might be. I could just be stupid. Hold up. Animals and pets, out art, DIY. I don't think this counts as art. Fitness and sports, no. News. Sure, we'll go under art. Yeah, totally. That makes sense. Chat and interview, sure. That sounds better. I don't really know. I just work here. I genuinely just work here. So can we put you back where you're supposed to go? Thank you. Safe room. I don't know. Well, I keep. Fuck it. No, I don't want TikTok Studio. Oh, what? Hold up. No sound detection. The fuck are you talking about? No sound detection. My ass. The fuck are you talking about? Bruh. Don't come at me, TikTok. I'll box you, TikTok. Okay. Let's get this shit rolling. Let me get my second monitor. Chotching and shoaling. We'll get shit rocking and folding. Oh. TikTok is reconnecting. I'm not. Oh, I am. Why am I losing frames? Why am I dropping bitrate? The fuck is going on? My internet, why is it being shoddy? What the hell? Are you reconnected? Are you back up? Nope, we're dropping on fucking OBS too. What the fuck is going on? Maybe it'll return here in a minute. We'll find out. It's not that. Okay. Well, I genuinely just think it's my internet being shouty at the moment. Oh? Okay. We're just gonna have to cancel TikTok Live Studio because it's not. TikTok Live Studio, if you refuse to close one more time, thank you. I was like, I will force close you with Task Manager. Don't fuck with me! Okay. That shit rolling. What is going on with my internet right now? I don't like this. I don't like this at all, Captain. What the fuck? What the fuck is going on? My bitrate should not be this low. Is it the Spotify? Dude, I'm getting 0 bits right now per second. What the fuck is genuinely happening? I don't even want to know what this looks like. It probably looks like poo poo caca. Yeah, my internet was literally just doing fine. What is causing this? Did I get DDoSed? Did I get straight DDoSed? That'd be insane, actually. How about the Wi-Fi on my phone, at least? I mean, at least I'm coming through. Okay, so my YouTube stream is fine. I'm still dropping hella frames, but like, what the fuck? At least it says I am. I don't even know, to be honest. It's whatevs. We'll vibe. We'll make this work. Bro, TikTok Studio's fucking bugging. Maybe that's the issue that's fucking taking my internet. It's the goddamn fucking TikTok stealing my information. Hi, buddy. No, it's gonna have to be a no for tonight. We're playing with Legos. I'm sorry. No, you can't go into there either, and you know that. You've been getting in trouble recently doing that. You've been getting yourself into trouble. Can't be doing that. Can't be doing that at all, my boy. Okay. So I'm definitely losing bits on TikTok. Or on Twitch, at least. You're not allowed up there either. Do not even think about this. That is not a space for you at all. Definitely. Hold on. You are insano in the membrane, oh my boy. If you get up on my PC, I swear to God, I will whoop your ass, my boy. Okay, well, nope. Sir, there is no space up here right now. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. You son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. You got up in my lap anyways. You're a little butthead and you know that. You know I just said, hey, I don't have space up here for you. And yet you still decided I'm coming up. And yet you still decided that I'm coming up. Why is that? Why is that? Okay, scan that. Fucking log me in. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay, so all of our bits are back. It looks like we are cooking. Wow, I'm more consistent than 96% of creators. That's insane. I would have never guessed. Let me get a little juicy juice in me. It's totally juice. Apple juice. 100% pure apple juice. Damn, Taco, you left a fur in my mouth, bro. Bruv. You son of a gun, you bruv. Okay, bruv. We're still kind of moving a little slow, bruv. A little slow. Little slow. I don't know why I went like that. I don't know. The fuck does that? What does that have to do? Goddamn. Alright, minimize that. Bruv, we're still getting good kilobits per second. Bruv. Oh, did you discover your cat tree? He looked at me like, go fuck yourself. Like, he straight up looked at me like, go fuck yourself, Dad. I can't believe you just said that to me. He's such a little wanker sometimes. He's such a little dirty wanker. Why are we dropping? I'm just blaming TikTok. It just doesn't know where we're at. Okay, welcome back. Welcome back. Yeah, I think you're just bugging TikTok, but it could just be me. It could just be me, bruv. Ooh, that was hot. I know I'm quite sexy. Doesn't even say I'm live on TikTok yet? I don't think so. I think TikTok's still bugging. Like, I'm not even seeing that I'm live on my own account. No, I don't want to go live now. You son of a gun. Why? Oh, that's my history. I was like, why does it have a schedule on there for me? It's like, I've never had a schedule. I never put a schedule on TikTok Live. What the hell? What in the hell? Okay, so we still haven't dropped any frames in a fat second, it looks like. We're only using 1% of our CPU, so I really don't think it's my computer. If I'm being filthy frank. I don't think it's my computer. I think it's this Wi-Fi. This fiber optic, not so fiber or optic. Vroom vroom, I'm in my mom's car. Okay. My fucking dude. If my second monitor could go any faster, it'd be appreciated. Be real appreciated at the moment. But we know that's not gonna happen. We know that's not gonna happen. Oh fuck. Alright. Okay. Can we? There we go. Bro, my shit is so delayed right now on my computer. See, it just sent the same chat 3 times for some fucking reason. What in the hell is going on with my internet? It should not have sent that 3 times. It's fine. 3 giga emojis. Back to back to back to back to back. Like, bro, my phone's not even on it. It's still tweaking. Are we being attacked by the Russians? Blink twice if the Russians are coming. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. What the fuck is going on? Like, genuinely. Okay, so now I can see my own live. That makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, okay. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, okay, okay. Okay. So now can I just get my fucking second monitor to load? That'd be great. It's the only thing holding me back at the moment. Damn, this should take forever. Should take forever. Well, I guess while we wait for it to load, I at least have it pulled up on my phone, so like I can still see the TikTok chat at least. So I guess not the end of the world. Give me 1 second to grab something and I'll be ready to go. Bada bing, bada boom. Chat. I think we have everything working as it should. Hopefully. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Hey. Whoa. That's crazy. My fucking actual fucking second computer is starting to load slightly faster. Holy shit. Holy shit. It actually like clocked that I was on TikTok at least. So that's good. That's good. All right, let's get a beep 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 beep. Your boy's gonna get a rip chacho in real quick, and we'll get rolling. I got you. I'm gonna pop it over here. I should also grab a charger for it. I didn't think about that. Shit. Sheesh. I guess I can charge it down here. I can just be smart. Use my head. All right, let's get y'all flipped over to the second camera, or my second layout of cameras. Because as you see, your boy has multiple formats. Okay, yeah, because if I go like this and just move it slow, yeah, yes, the tech. Try not to show it on camera. Can't show off the secret goods. Put that baby on the charger because it needs to charge. Boy definitely has not been smacking the shit out of it tonight at all. No, why would I ever? So this is the first step we're gonna do. We got this shit from. Damn, that fucking light reflection on it. It is the, let's see, Sea Serpent. It is a free set that we got from the Lego store at the Mall of America. I said we were up there, shit, a couple weekends ago. Got me this set, and then also got Liv the Lego Pac-Man arcade set. I got this one for free, so shout out the Lego store for giving out free shit to the Lego Club members. But your boy got this set for free, because like I said, I was already up there, and I got a set for Liv, which was the it was the Pac-Man arcade set that's getting discontinued. It was already on back order online, so Liv was like, "Will you please get me that while you're up there?" And I was like, "I got you, baby." So dropped $215 on that. But hey, we've got a nice new Lego set out there. And damn, that Pac-Man set is cool. So, like the full arcade machine, just beautiful, beautiful. All right. Now, our first thing we need to tackle tonight, as you see, we've got our hand cam. Set up a new hand camera so we can see all the Legos being made right here in the flesh. But then I also, as you'll see over, well, I guess if I want to do it, it'd be that way, technically, on screen. Over to the left, or down in the corner for me, or to the right for y'all. I added, obviously, the little YouTube screen so we can watch some YouTube together while we build some Legos. So it doesn't have to be just me talking sometimes, because obviously we'll be focused up sometimes. But I also just want to add a little bit extra, like a little flair to it, give you a little something to watch while I build some Legos. Because I know the Legos aren't always the most entertaining, but if we're watching maybe something along with it, might be helpful. You know, who knows? Trying things out. If you like it, let me know. If you're not, don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. I say, you know, take everyone's opinion. So feel free to share it. Why the NFL won't come back to this major city? Okay, sounds like a good video starter. Make sure it's not too loud. Oh no, my bitrate's dropping. I can't. Not a good time to try to load a YouTube video in. Sheesh. Alright, well, while we wait for the YouTube video, we're going to open up these Sea Serpent sets. Or open up the Sea Serpent set. There you go. Come on. Come on, Dale. Come on, Dale, you can do it. There's tape on it. I guess I could just cut the tape, to be honest. It'd probably be a little easier if I just cut it. To be frank. Yeah, that was so much smoother. I should have just cut it from the beginning. To be honest, I don't know why the fuck I was trying to cut that shit with my nail. Bro, why is my Wi-Fi saying no tonight? What the fuck? It said, oh, hell no, we ain't doing this shit. Fuck you. It said, you want to have fun and do an interesting stream? No. Okay, so our book, starting out, I want to point out, was folded up. So it's in a fucking U shape.
This beautiful city hosted NFL football for half a century. It also hosted 3 Super Bowls, the league.
Oh, it's on 240 right now. Jesus. Jiminy Christmas. We got a random fucking bar piece with it. Not in the bag. Okay. Starting
Love
strong
this
Lego.
place. It has perfect weather, 2 major sports teams, and 3.2 million residents.
You got bag number
18th
2.
largest metro area.
Bag number 3.
States. It's currently bigger than 14
We get
NFL
some
cities, including
stickers
Denver,
in
Baltimore,
here.
and Pittsburgh. This is San Diego, California, the former home of the Chargers, a team that left almost 10 years ago.
Oh no,
but the
it's our
NFL
sale.
will never come back here, and the
Sheesh.
reason
Their
isn't
little
because
sale.
of
That's
Dean
fucking
Spanos or Stan Kroenke
Goddamn. Hold
or
up, my back
market
itches.
viability. No, the reason
It's more like my ass
is
to like
sadder.
back.
More logical than you
Between
think.
there.
I'm
I
Adam
love
Jackson,
handles.
and this is Open Markets. And in this video, we are going to look at why the NFL left San Diego,
Let's see.
give you the pros and
We
cons
got bag
for a
number
team
1
returning,
right here.
and tell you why the NFL is never coming back. And all of that is coming up right after
Wi-Fi
this.
is still just shit right now.
Do you know what's better than doom scrolling? Hitting bombs. Finally, a fun baseball game for your phone.
Interesting.
Introducing
All right.
today's video sponsor,
let's do this shit.
Baseball Hits 26. It's officially licensed by the MLBPI and allows you to use real pros.
Oh, it's up to
you can
360
collect,
quality now.
Build your roster, join clubs
Could be
like
worse.
mine.
All right, we're skipping ahead.
To first understand why the NFL won't be coming back to San Diego, we need to know how it got here. Our story starts
Let's turn Google down just a little bit.
Los Angeles, California. In case you weren't aware, it's at Los Angeles, LA's in California. The year was 1959, and a major professional football league was expanding. And
we're just gonna turn it down
NFL,
in general.
The startup AFL,
Just because you want to be able to think a little bit.
By the big circuit,
there we go.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. This is by 5 Point Vids, by the way. Hopefully y'all enjoy this. Hopefully y'all enjoy this while we get deep on these Legos. Pardon me. Do a little adjustment sometimes. Gotta do what you gotta do. All right, we're gonna start by opening up this instruction manual. Shit, I just dropped a bag.
Yes, of the Hilton Hotel Empire. The Chargers played their first 2 seasons in the LA Coliseum.
Shut up, TikTok. Keep going in and out all night, so whatever. We're gonna survive. We got queso Wi-Fi going on right now. Okay, so meet Damon Howell, the Lego Idea Grand Prize winner. Okay, cool. Number 1. Okay, yep, I got the red piece and bag 1. No surprise. We need bag 1 to start. I figured we were probably gonna do bag 1 first, but you know, gotta make show first. Let's see.
I think that's like $8 Brazilian in today money. Oh, they added that upper deck, and the Chargers broke down to 5 and set up shop in the Marine City of San Diego. Success was near instant, and in 1960,
TikTok ever reconnect?
Won the AFL championship. Hilton's
Yes, it
gamble
looked like
had
it did.
paid
Okay,
off.
okay,
San
okay,
Diego
okay.
loved the Chargers.
Okay.
Surely this team would never go back to LA, right? Things began to change for both the team and the city as they saw
Okay.
the demand
Bag
for a
one
real stadium materialize.
is
Local
out.
sports writer Jack Murphy began writing columns to build a groundswell for a new stadium in San Diego. It worked. In 1965, a $27 million bond was passed by the city.
Okay, we got a little like
Concrete donut
Coke bag with it.
stadium that the city would own and operate.
Okay, first thing we need to do is apparently build the man himself. Oop. Did not mean to hit pause.
And the minor league Padres of the
God damn it.
PCL would
Hold
join
up.
in 1968. It had a capacity of 70,000, and despite its brutalist
Get the fuck.
architecture, it was state of
There
the
we go.
art for the time. The stadium
There
was
we
so
go.
big and versatile.
I gotta know how to like prop it up on the fucking water somehow.
An expansion franchise in 1969. Nice. Just 2 years after the venue opened. By 1970, the AFL and NFL merger
Hold up,
was complete, and the city
somebody
had
a photo.
two major sports franchises playing in the now renamed Jack Murphy Stadium. A construction and tourism boom of the early 80s helped fuel rapid growth in San Diego, which culminated in Super Bowl 22 being awarded to the city in 1984.
Okay, so
The
first
game
thing,
to be played in
we got to
1988.
build
The
our
stadium
little
in the
man.
city proved to be a viable
We've got his
option. 10
little
years
body.
later, the Super Bowl came back with number 32 being
Okay,
played in San
where is his
Diego in
little-
1988. Now the
Oh, there's
stadium
multiple
is in the
men.
Super Bowl rotation.
Sheesh.
As only 5 years later, the big game would be back in Super Bowl.
There's a
37,
guy and a girl?
67,603 fans on January 26, 2003.
TikTok disconnected
Everything
again.
was coming up
Congratulations,
Millhouse, but
TikTok.
just like San Diego's aging
I was like,
stadium,
okay,
cracks in
where's the other head at?
started to show up. By
Okay.
2003, lots of changes
One head.
had occurred. The Chargers had changed ownership
One
twice and
head.
were purchased by real estate
Okay,
developer
okay.
Alex Saros in 1994. Jack Murphy had
Where
been renamed
are
Qualcomm
the
Stadium on
legs?
account that
Oh,
Jack Murphy
leg one.
had died and would not be able to
And-
protest the name being changed. The multi-million-dollar naming rights deal helped fund some
Not in
stadium
there.
renovations, which Jack Murphy could not do given the fact that he was still dead. But Qualcomm was getting old.
Oh,
Let's talk
legs
about
are
Alex
stuck under there.
Spanos
Damn.
was a beloved owner
They were
of the
hidden
team,
fucking underneath the
contributed
goddamn
heavily to local causes, and
instructions.
was revered by the San
Motherfucker.
Diego community. After buying a 60% stake of the team in 1984,
Bada bing,
he
bada
gradually
boom.
acquired more and more of the team until he
Bada
owned
bing,
97%
bada boom.
of it by 1993.
They both
Spanos had
need-
put his son Dean
Both gonna need the helmets.
day-to-day operations. By 2015,
Okay, one
he
helmet
ceded
on.
total ownership to his children as he was aging and beginning to show signs of early
Second
onset
helmet on.
dementia. He would pass away.
Okay, so the girl has a shield and a short sword.
Not him dying would prove to be the worst possible thing for the city of San Diego
Shield.
ever.
And
Alex
then
never wanted to move the team out of the city and had stated
see.
so many times. And I think we obviously know how Dean
Short sword, short sword. There it is. There it is. There it is.
Talks of a
I
new
found
stadium
it, I
began
found
almost
it.
immediately after the Super Bowl ended in 2003. The Padres had already moved out of the old dump by then. Finally, in
Damn it.
2009, the San Diego Stadium Coalition was formed with the
I
intent of
can't.
constructing
Fuck.
a new football stadium
Come on.
adjacent to retail, residential, and commercial
Lady, I'm gonna need you to hold your
the
sword.
base financial structure of the coalition was this: the Chargers would fund the construction and reap most of the profits. San Diego County would donate
Okay,
the
there we go.
land and provide infrastructure
Okay.
upgrades. Sounds
One
like
little one
something
done.
they could
Little-
work out.
little
Well,
gal
that's probably
with a
where
sword
this
and shield.
large development.
She's
The
done.
existing site of Qualcomm, though there's plenty of parking,
Beautiful,
isn't
beautiful.
exactly in an area where you'd want to build retail and commercial
Okay.
buildings. So the coalition
Let's get
looked
him
at other
done the
places,
rest-
National
the rest of the
City
way.
in San Diego, the 10th Avenue Marine Terminal, the waterfront, the East Village. None
Got
were suitable
that.
inside.
So we gotta make the
They all
X.
had their issues.
Is
7 years
X.
had passed since the
Um,
coalition was formed.
Where?
No
Oh,
deal had been reached.
Why is his
Finally,
axe
in
head in here?
2016, a real
What the
proposal
fuck?
with legs was
I hate when they do
submitted
that.
for a
When they
downtown
fucking separate all the
location
big pieces from the
next
little
to
pieces. I'm
Petco
like,
Park.
why?
Renderings were
Why?
unveiled. The Chargers held rallies in support of a new stadium. Signatures.
Then there's
were
like randomly
issued,
pieces
and it
in the
looked
second
like a
like
deal was
miniature
gonna
bag
get
that you didn't
done.
know you needed.
Only there were some catches.
Kind of odd.
The revenue
It's what
split
ifs.
of the billion-dollar proposal
Okay,
wasn't that
X.
outrageous. The Chargers would fund $350 million.
Let's
the
see.
NFL
Get it into his
$300 million,
hand.
and the city would fund $650 million.
Huh.
The San Diego
There we go.
Convention Center
A,
would also
A,
be
A.
expanded, and the city
Boy.
would own and operate both.
Boy.
Now, how
Boy.
would the city come up with the money? San Diego would increase their hotel tax by 4%.
Motherfucker.
In exchange, the Chargers would sign a 30-year lease. Okay, sounds not too bad. A 4%
There we go.
increase.
There we go.
Well, the tax was already 12.5%. The increase would have brought
Come
it
on.
to
There we go.
16.5%. The deal was similar in terms of revenue split to the one that got Petco Park funded 13 years earlier.
Okay.
On a much larger
Where
scale.
is the... There it
Opposition
is.
to the bill started
Like, where's the other
slowly,
shield
and
at?
it got more and more staunch as more residents
Boom.
dove deeper into the deal.
All right. There we go.
Essentially authored by the Chargers.
Bada bing,
Projections
bada
were said to
boom,
be flawed. Most
bada
knew the
bang.
figure of 1.1 billion
Beautiful.
was too low.
All right,
And
two of them.
projections were
Done.
based on increased tourism and no backup plan if it
Put those guys
didn't
right there
increase.
for now.
Residents didn't like the tax
Yeah,
as it
yeah.
would
What's
shield the
next?
visitors of Comic-Con
Page.
and put the
Technically
convention
8.
at risk, and if that suffered a downturn, the whole
Oh,
city
okay.
could go bankrupt because of
So
this
we're gonna
stadium.
move
The hotel industry
this
would
way a little
face
bit.
lot of
We're
weight
kind
in
of shimmy
San
our
Diego.
shit around.
Didn't like the tax increase either. Most people in the community saw it as corporate welfare.
I can't tell if that
and
is
an
a
unfair deal, even though it
six-sider.
looked good on paper. The bill
The hell is that?
was resoundingly defeated on November
Okay,
8th,
I'm pretty sure it's this.
2016, only garnering 43% of
This
the
weird little
7%
piece
yes
where it's
vote
got all
needed.
the
Now,
bits
we
on
have
each
to remember
side.
some things about the world.
Besides the backside. The backside is literally the only
No
flat part.
NFL teams in Los Angeles
All right,
at
so the
the
flat
time.
part needs to be
And
on the
teams' open
inside.
market had been used as a
Okay.
threat to multiple
Then we need
existing
two white
NFL
pieces that
cities
should be
for a
basically the
while.
same.
The Rams and the
Besides, they're
Raiders
gonna
were
be,
buying
the only
LA,
difference is they don't have the side
called the city
stubs,
home in the
nubs,
past.
whatever you want to call
Damn,
them.
LA is like your mom, as many football teams have ran through it. After
Bada
the Raiders
bing,
failed
bada
on a
boom.
bid to build a stadium in Carson, California, which is
And
basically LA,
then
the Chargers were given the first
a
option
flat
to relocate
gray.
to the city alongside
Boom.
the Rams, whose stadium bid for Englewood actually won, and they would share that stadium together.
Okay.
If the Chargers refused this option,
And
they
then
would have
two
lost the
more
rating. The
of
deal
those white
associated
bricks that
included
we
a
just
$200
used
million
right
loan
after.
from the NFL, and the team had to pay $1 in rent per season to the Rams. $1.
Boom.
Spanos took his out, and in 2017, the Chargers moved to LA.
Okay,
before
okay.
SoFi
Let's get ourselves a
Stadium
little-
was built.
little
Setting up
dranky drank.
shop in a 30,000-seat soccer stadium as a big FU to all the San Diegans who supported his team over 50 motherfucking years. Football in the city
little dranky
was
drank.
gone. The San Diego Chargers were no more. Qualcomm Stadium would sit completely empty from 2017 to 2020, and the site was purchased
Don't mind me.
during the COVID apocalypse by San Diego State University. The old stadium was demolished and replaced by Snapdragon Stadium, which opened in 2022.
Pretty good,
Much
pretty good.
All evidence of the Chargers has been eliminated from the town. save
Okay,
for
so then we need to put a
and few
brown
stickers
2x4
off yet.
on top, it looks
The
like.
move was almost a decade ago,
Okay.
and the herd
And then this weird black layered one. Okay, okay. It looks like it's like a, yeah, like a 1.5.
Let's first start with sheer
Or like a
market
2-brick
size.
high.
Stated before, 3.2 million
Let's
residents
see.
reside in the metro
What's
area,
next? What's
which is
next?
the 18th largest in the United States.
Then we're going to go 2 of these blue pieces off the back.
Viable, and the fans are loyal. Part of what isolates San Diego
Okay,
from Los
okay.
Angeles is actual geography. It's not like the endless
There's
East
gonna be a
Coast
white brick on the
sprawl.
opposite
There are
side.
physical barriers.
So we need another one.
Beach and Oceanside is literal mountains that have prevented LA/San Diego overlap, effectively isolating
Oh, excuse me.
markets from each other. When I say loyalty, though I don't have any hard data.
Then we need a
San
white
Diegans
brick,
aren't
little
coming
halfy
to
brick.
LA to rep the
Bada
Chargers,
bing,
even
bada
though
boom.
it's only a 2-hour drive. Most of the original fan base hates
Little red
the
piece there.
team now.
Little red piece there.
Taste of LA even before the move.
Beautiful,
They had the
beautiful.
down south
That's what we've got going on. What we've got going on.
down south. So if a team does
Nothing
come
too
back to
wild yet.
San Diego, they don't need to create any.
Okay.
San
we need
Diego also
to
has steady industry and
use
plenty
the
of corporations
gray
that are headquartered here.
one
Petco,
pieces here.
Qualcomm, Sempra, ResMed,
Bada
and
bing,
Jack in the
they're just like the
Box
white pieces
all
that we just
have
used a little bit
prime
ago, but
bases
they're
in the city.
only
There is
one
a permanent industry,
stub long
you
or
know, war,
yeah, stub
a
long.
large naval base and critical
And then we
national
need
security
a
interests in the region
black,
that bring hundreds
what I
of
call a
thousands
fence
of
piece, because
residents to
I
the
swear it looks like
area
a fence,
every year.
like
They
two
also have
circular
a long
pieces
history
almost,
of major sports
but that are
leagues,
connected.
including the Padres, still playing, and an
And
active
then a
MLS
flat
franchise
with
in
a
the city.
circular
Having hosted 3 Super
middle
Bowls is
stub.
also a
Okay.
valuable asset, not just for the history, but for the
Oop,
fact
we got a
that we already
response.
know the
Hold up.
city meets the NFL's rather rigorous requirements to host the big game, meaning they have the hotels, the airport, and the infrastructure to execute on the league's most valuable product. You're going to say there's no NFL stadium here, and you're right about that, but plans for an 80,000 seat stadium have been confirmed on a 124-acre bayfront site in Chula Vista. This would be part of a huge complex that includes a tennis stadium, a golf course, and retail and commercial space. It would be a $2.2 billion privately funded project called Pangea. No earth has been moved yet, but to say there isn't planning and money around a stadium in San Diego is simply not true. Someone recognizes this is an NFL market, even if it never happens. Finally, a valid strategy is the fact that the Chargers are only a few miles away right now, and the city can simply wait for Dean Spanos to either tuck tail and come back or simply die, and the team be sold to a new local billionaire owner hell-bent on bringing the team back down south. And it would be an easy move for the league to approve. San Diego is just like their ex, waiting for the hubby to come back from his cigarette run. But unfortunately, that's not going to happen. Let's look at the cons.
Okay.
In the last segment, I talked about a possible 80,000 seat stadium being built in Chula Vista, led by Virginia-based investor Gerald DeVeris. The entire project would be privately funded, which is huge for a reason I will talk about later. However, nothing has been confirmed on this project other than conceptualization, and some are calling it a giant nothing burger. Laying down $2.2 billion to build a stadium without an NFL tenant would be a bold strategy, Cotton. Now let's look at the largest stadium in the area, the one that directly replaced Qualcomm. Snapdragon Stadium has a capacity of 35,000, well below the minimum floor of 50,000 for an NFL stadium. It could theoretically be expanded to 50K, but that would just be a repeat of Balboa Stadium, and there's actually a big reason why that would never be done. Snapdragon is 100% owned by San Diego State University, who funded its construction, and there's no way they would just let an NFL team move in here, alter their stadium, destroy their market share, and then leave them with an overbuilt problem after 1 to 2 years.
Hey, don't be shy, but are you a shooter or spiller? What do you mean? Hold up. Hold up. What that mean? What do you mean by that? Shooter or spiller? What is that exact? I see you over on YouTube. I'm sorry. I just saw your chat. My bad. Oh wait, you sent that. Hold up.
Able to capitalize on the demand, especially if winning an expansion team.
Are you talking? You talk about sex?
For San Diego, the league.
I think that's what you're talking about, but I could be wrong. If so, you funny. You funny, Magic Man.
Enterprise in his old town. My gut tells me Stan Kroenke seems to care about that less.
Okay.
He invited his competition to
if you're wondering, I'm a shooter. I got you, my boy. Got that fucking hose power. Or horsepower, whatever you prefer. Hose power. Let's get the spinny circle with a hole. Put one right there. And then we need a little brown box. Holy shit, is this for like the mast? What if it's the mast holder? Maybe. I don't know.
Have a new stadium deal quite yet, but why would they want to clash against both Spanos and Concrete's bullshit? I mean, influence. Why would any team expansion or existing?
So 2 more long gray pieces.
That leaves the
Bro, I don't even know what the fuck I'm building currently. Obviously, I know it's a fucking pirate ship.
There's no freaking
But,
way
like,
he comes back to the city
genuinely have
that
no
wouldn't
idea
bend over backwards for
what the
him.
fuck this is
The only way
gonna
that
be,
happens
or what
is
part of the ship
somehow,
we're on.
some way the city were to go back to
Okay,
the
and then we need a
drawing
gray
board,
flat
draw up a
piece.
$2
That should leave us with
billion
4
taxpayer-funded
studs
stadium
remaining in
plan
total.
and hand
And that's
it
like
to
the area, not the
on a
actual,
silver
not
platter.
4 studs in length.
Even then,
'Cause it's only 2 left,
some might
actually.
say no. All right, let's real reason
And
why
then
the
2
NFL
tall
isn't
boys
coming back
again.
to San Diego.
I need
It's
me a
not
tall boy.
bad blood. It's not whether or not the market is valuable. It's not because the fans wouldn't
Let's see,
welcome them
and
back.
then
It's this thing
a
called
black
principle.
piece.
The city's residents saw what
Bada bing,
Dean
bada boom.
Spanos was trying to
I don't know
do
what the
to
fuck
them,
we've
and they
built currently, but
resoundingly
we've
rejected
got
it. To that I
we've
say,
got
good
something
for
here,
them.
folks.
And one of the rarest things
We
ever
have
in our times,
something.
an actual populace got to
Like,
choose the fate of where their tax dollars go.
oh,
Not
no
a city
idea what the fuck's
council
going
that
on here, but
circumvented their authority
we'll figure it
to
out.
Put it to a public vote. Like, you know, pretty much every
Okay.
other city that's building a new stadium right now. Buffalo. San Diego
Buffalo.
didn't lose their NFL team.
Definitely not talking shit about
They kicked
Buffalo there,
them
damn.
out, and that's a really
Damn, bro, I'm reconnecting on TikTok again.
operation. Yes, there are the loyal fans who are casualties in all this mess. And yes, the Chargers belong in San Diego.
How many times am I gonna disconnect and reconnect on TikTok? Damn.
Terms and conditions. And it seems like the city.
Bro, I'm literally gonna turn notifications off from TikTok.
Also, I gotta leave this here for you.
Should kind of piss me off. Bro. I don't want to turn them off. That's the issue. It's just... Okay. Are you done, TikTok? Are you done? Please be done. I'm tired of that fucking disconnecting, reconnecting, disconnecting, reconnecting, disconnecting, reconnecting. That shit's actually annoying.
When you look at WWE's PLE calendar today,
Okay, we're gonna watch some wrestling with Andy for this one.
Divided up into A shows and B shows. And of those A shows, there's a definitive main 4, or maybe main 5. What are those 5 shows we speak of here? Well,
And Lady P
WrestleMania,
showed
the
search.
Royal
Oh
Rumble,
my god, that's
Survivor
funny.
Series, Money in the Bank, and our topic today, SummerSlam. Yes, as one of the earliest WWE pay-per-views, that latter event has been able to carve out a very important spot for itself over the years as a summertime equivalent of the Showcase of the Immortals. But how did it get to this point? Well, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and join us as we take a deep dive into the history of SummerSlam. It all started in early 1988. That was the point where, after WrestleMania, Survivor Series, and the Royal Rumble had all proven to be big financial successes for the World Wrestling Federation, Vince McMahon started looking at ways he could further expand his pay-per-view calendar. And in trying to find the best time to do this, he chose the summer months. Why was that? Well, with the Royal Rumble taking place in January, Survivor Series in November, and WrestleMania at the start of spring, summer was the big space he had yet to delve into with a major event. So it was then that after some further deliberation, August was settled upon as the best time to run with here. And once that was decided upon, the name SummerSlam would be created for the upcoming event. Obviously then, this was going to have to be a major show that got out of the gate strong if the company wanted to establish it alongside their other pay-per-views. And this was why Vince McMahon chose to book Madison Square Garden as a venue, with this instantly setting the tone for what was to come, the biggest party of the summer, which would act as an
Okay.
equivalent of
Don't mind me just
WrestleMania.
responding to my
What
Snapchats.
would be on the card for that initial SummerSlam show held on August 29th, 1988?
I got people to talk to.
Well, some notable moments as this was
And I ain't
the
spilling everything I'm talking about.
at the time record-breaking run as Intercontinental Champion.
Okay, yeah, because I just... Yeah, I got that. I'll get that done. Beautiful, beautiful.
That wasn't enough. We'd also see the next
So we need another long brown piece. Right here. Beautiful, beautiful. And then we're going to create another front piece, just like we did on that first one. Okay. Or on the opposite side. Here, I'll flip this around so y'all can see what I'm building, actually. Gotta remember that I'm building it backwards at the moment. Okay, and then I need a white piece that's gonna go here.
The only question was, would the show become an annual tradition like
And
WrestleMania
then
going forward? And the answer to that
a
question
red
was
piece
yes.
there.
On August 28th, 1989, the company returned to the tri-state area, this time to the Meadowlands Arena in New Jersey for the
Oh
second
man,
SummerSlam
man, I did that.
spectacular.
Hold up, hold
Of
up,
course,
hold
by
up,
this
hold up.
point, a lot had changed in the WWF though, as now Hulk Hogan was once again the world champion. Not that he'd be defending his gold here, however. No.
How did I
the
fuck that
prior
up?
year,
Hold
he'd
up.
be taking part in a tag team main event, one which this time pitted him against the Macho Man, as that
There we
match
go.
would see
I was like, how the fuck did I
Brutus the Barber Beefcake
fucked
paired
my
up
first
with
part
the
up
Randy
on my
Savage
first
and
edge?
Zeus. Why such a strange pairing? Well, back then, Vince McMahon was trying to promote Hogan's first starring role in the world
Okay.
of film, No Holds Barred.
Hold up, I think
And
I got one more
Zeus,
Snapchat,
the
and then
character played by
so
Tiny
should be
Lister,
done.
was the villain of that movie. The boss chose to try and bring him off the screen and into the real world here, Last Action Hero style. As well as this, other things on the show
Okay.
stood out, most notably the Ultimate Warrior
I was
regaining
texting
his
my good friend
Intercontinental
Origin.
Championship from ravishing Rick Rude. Hell, it may be the fact the Warrior outshone
Okay.
Hogan here, which convinced the boss to go with the former as world champion at
Beat
WrestleMania
bing,
6,
beat boom.
thus meaning that when SummerSlam 1990
Got those
came
two
around,
done.
Warrior was now the top dog. Sadly, however, by then it was already clear the
So
new
now we
champ
need
wasn't drawn in the
to
same way as the Warrior
add-
champ had. And this meant the Ultimate Warrior experiment was already starting to lose steam. Still, he would put out a memorable main event here when he defended the top gold against Rick Rude inside of a steel cage. What was Hulk Hogan doing as that was happening? Well, he was fending off the challenge of Earthquake. Oh well, elsewhere on the show, Kerry Von Erich was making his SummerSlam debut. So there was some noteworthy stuff happening here. That said, there was a sense that SummerSlam was not quite the second WrestleMania Vince McMahon was trying to push it as. Hell, in the first 3 shows, the world title had only been defended once. And 1991 wouldn't add to that number either, as this was the year the main event saw then-champ Hulk Hogan team up with the soon-to-be-getting-fired Ultimate Warrior to defeat the trio of Sergeant Slaughter, General Adnan, and Colonel Mustafa in a match which no one wanted, as it was a continuation of the Gulf War angle which had begun during the lead-up to WrestleMania 7. But even if this was how the main event scene was playing out, on the undercard of this show, there were some real gems to be found, most notably in Bret Hart and Mr. Perfect tearing the house down over the Intercontinental title. Hell, so much would Bret turn out here, come the following year, he'd find himself in the main event of the biggest show of the summer. And that was a major feather in his cap, as this was the year the WWF famously ventured over to London, England to hold the show at the iconic Wembley Stadium, in the process creating a huge attendance of 78,000 people. However, it was also around this time that the Golden Era came to a crashing end with the exit of almost all of the big stars as a result of the impending steroid trial. So because of this, there was notably no Hulk Hogan on the show. Sure, you did have the Ultimate Warrior and Macho Man Randy Savage going at it over the WWF title, all while Ric Flair watched on from the sidelines. But that was relegated to a semi-main, as the actual closer would see the Hitman drop his Intercontinental strap to hometown hero, the British Bulldog, in one of the greatest matches of all time. Obviously,
should be good.
though, the real big story here was the
We
venue,
chillin'.
as it showed that there remained a big audience for the WWF in Europe. For some reason, though, partially related to fears that time differences would affect the
don't mind me,
pay-per-view
don't
buy
mind me.
rates, the company never returned to Wembley. And when SummerSlam returned stateside for 1993, you could really see the difference in interest from the US market, as that show was a major step down. But then to be fair, this was the night Vince McMahon famously shot out the tires of the Lex Express by having Lex Luger beat
Bada
Yokozuna,
bing,
though only
boom.
by countout, and then celebrate in the ring like he'd just won the world title, despite the fact he hadn't.
He
Yes,
hadn't.
We're getting into the rough years for the WWF now as the new generation era took hold. But that wasn't
So
to
is this
say
just
there weren't
going-
still creative high points. No, well, SummerSlam 1994 might have been main evented by
Okay,
the
so there needs to be 3 of these in a row.
It did
and then
have
a
high
piece
watermark
holding
of a
it
steel
together,
cage
okay.
match for the WWF title, pitting Bret
There's
Hart
also
against
a Ripsky to
Goldberg,
warm up, so
another
don't mind
strong
me.
contender for best WWE match ever, and one of the greatest cage bouts of all time. That one alone was able to make this show worthwhile. Sadly, though, the Hitman was not able to save SummerSlam 1995, as here he'd be stuck wrestling Dr. Isaac Yankem DDS in a showdown which summed up exactly why the company was in the state it was in during the mid-90s. And that wasn't even the worst of SummerSlam 1995.
Ooh, that was a weak
No,
Ripsky.
the worst would be saved for the main
Gonna get another one.
world title match between
But we're still gonna build while it warms up.
So thank God Shawn Michaels
Okay,
and
so
Razor
those
Ramon
need to go
came
together
out in another ladder match for the
to
Intercontinental
create a
title,
like a
which is
6
fans
by
found great to watch.
Or yeah, 6x2. And then a white piece over the middle.
While Bret Hart was out on sabbatical and Steve Austin was yet to rise to the level he'd soon reach, it would be down to the Texan to carry the flag by defending the WWF title he'd then be in possession of against Vader in the main event. Of course, he wasn't the only one carrying this show, though, as in the semi-main, The Undertaker and Mankind would have an awesome Boiler Room brawl, with this being the bout which saw Paul Bearer turn on the dead man and instead align himself with Mick Foley. Overall, however, there remained a sense that the WWF was stuck in the doldrums. Would that have changed?
I didn't mean for that to come off so rough.
Well, not from a business sense, no, but for a creative sense, it would have, as by now, things were firing on all cylinders.
That should leave one right there. And I need to flip over and do it on the exact same thing on the other side.
Michaels beef, as it saw the Hitman win the WWF title from The Undertaker in the main event, in the process forcing HBK to count the fall for him as the special guest referee. That said, the thing SummerSlam 1997 is probably best remembered for
toss
today
that there.
isn't the main event.
Pop
Rather,
that
it's the
right.
Intercontinental title bout which saw Steve Austin nearly end up paralyzed after a botched
Come
driver
on.
from Owen Hart. That moment would change the trajectory of the Rattlesnake's career forever and eventually force him
Bada
into
bing,
early retirement.
bada boom.
But before it did that, it would help propel
Bash it.
him
Oop.
towards becoming
Bash
the
it,
biggest
bang.
star in the entire industry, with this being the spot he was in at SummerSlam 1998 as he defended his WWF title against The Undertaker in the main event. That's right, we were now fully in the Attitude Era, a time when wrestling was never
Big ass
hotter in
nuts.
the mainstream. And leading that charge on the WWF side
Let's
was
see.
Stone Cold. But he wasn't the only person making SummerSlam 98 a very important edition of the show.
Okay, got those
that
on
same
there.
Night, as things once more emanated
So
from
now,
Madison Square Garden, you also had appearances from
these
Kane,
should
Mankind,
perfectly
Edge,
fit
and the New Age Outlaws,
on
as well
there,
as a
right?
superstar-making performance from The Rock when he dropped the Intercontinental
Yes.
title to Triple H.
Yes,
in a
yes,
ladder
yes, yes,
match.
yes.
Could Vince McMahon keep this momentum going into
I'm assuming
1999?
that's the part we went
Yes,
up.
he
Yep, yep,
could,
yep, yep.
and then some.
Yep,
This
yep,
was
yep,
the
yep,
year
yep.
With the Attitude Era only getting stronger, SummerSlam saw the return of
And
the
then
Governor of Minnesota, Jesse
opposite.
Ventura, to the ring. No, he wouldn't be wrestling here, but he would be refereeing the main event WWF title match between Steve
Oh my
Austin
god,
and
I didn't know
Triple H
Jesse
and
Ventura
Mankind. And while that was
was
going
a
on, elsewhere
say
on the
governor?
card, there would be a very fun Greenwich Street fight between Test and Shane
If so, that's
McMahon,
fucking wild.
as well as that infamous
I did
Kiss
not know
My
that.
Ass bout pitting The Rock against Billy Gunn, which pretty much killed
Mr.
any
Ass.
Ass would ever have of being a main event singles act going forward.
Oh,
As you
okay,
would
you
expect,
probably
in
lost, yeah.
2000, Billy Gunn would not have a spot on the SummerSlam card. Rather, he
So,
was on the side as the
okay.
company put out
Now, this is gonna
another
be some
excellent
weird
show which fit
fangle
nicely
and
with
shit
the
that's going on here.
creatively. What was on this event specifically that made it so highly
Okay.
regarded? Well, the main things
This
would be
needs to
the
pop
triple
up.
threat for the WWF title, pitting The Rock
I think.
against Triple H and Kurt Angle. And on top of that, there was also the first tables, ladders, and chairs match, which saw the Hardy Boys, the Dudley Boys, and Edge and Christian raise the bar for tag team wrestling in the
I'm
WWF
assuming.
to a level that would only be
I'm
exceeded by
assuming.
TLC at WrestleMania 17 less than a year later. Hell, that's not even getting into Chris
Okay.
Benoit and Chris Jericho's 2 out of 3 falls match. Needless to
Yep,
say, then, by now,
mhm.
SummerSlam was on a roll when it came to putting out some high-level material. Unfortunately,
Okay.
2001 would see another
So now we need to go the
business as
opposite
usual,
side
where
and do the exact same thing.
and burning, the whole card would be bogged down by it being about Team WWF versus Team Alliance. Still, there were a couple awesome moments here, specifically in the 2 main events where
Let's
The Rock
see.
returned from a Hollywood sabbatical to beat Booker
Put
T
that
for the
bitch on
WCW
there.
World
Oh, come on.
Heavyweight title, and Steve Austin tore the
God
house down
damn
with
it.
Kurt Angle
This
with the
fucking
WWF
house.
title on the line.
I fucking hate it. No,
2002,
that's
fair in comparison to this,
don't mind me.
a lot better as
Acting
it
like an old man.
happens now with the invasion angle and the
What?
ruthless
Okay.
aggression era beginning, there was a sense that some better direction had returned to the proceedings. That
Show.
all served to give us what to this day is
Like,
still
ooh,
considered by many to be the greatest
motherfucker.
SummerSlam of all time.
Assuming it's
How could it not
that,
be
yeah,
when it was
okay.
so stacked with great matches, with the opening of Kurt Angle versus Rey Mysterio setting the bar very high indeed. Really, it was going to be hard for anything to top that one, but top it at least 2 of the
Okay.
big bouts did, as once it was over, we'd get Shawn Michaels returning to the ring for the first time in 4 years to have an all-time
And then,
sanction
nice.
match
Okay, the
against
opposite side is the
with
same
this
way.
serving as the prelude to the final bout, which saw Brock Lesnar
Prelude?
climb the mountain after only 5 months on the main roster by defeating the
That feels really short.
Said and done, SummerSlam 2002 was a blowaway success. Perhaps
guess they
it was
both
too
are, so.
successful though, as it set a bar
Never
that
mind.
SummerSlam 2003
Never mind.
simply could not match when that event happened later on August 24th. Sure, this show would have an Elimination Chamber bout for the World Heavyweight title, but the ending to that one left a bad
The
taste.
fuck
in
am I
fans'
supposed to
mouths
do
as
here?
it saw Triple H continue his reign of terror at the expense of a red-hot Bill Goldberg. And while Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar would turn out for
What
the
the
WWE
fuck?
title showdown, that wasn't enough to overcome the idea that the rest of the show was missing the same level of spark which had existed only a couple of years prior. What was needed then was another strong
Does
show.
not look like it's supposed to be sticking out that far.
And that's what we got.
Nah.
As on that night, Randy Orton became the youngest
Fucking
ever
stupid.
world champion in WWE history when he
It'll
beat
stick off the
Chris
side
Benoit
just a little
for the
bit.
World Heavyweight title. What else
Hello?
was happening at
Oh, it
SummerSlam
does not
2004? Well,
actually hold that in
Guerrero
place
had
at
a
all.
great match, and as well as
Well, it
this,
doesn't make any
Edge
sense.
versus Batista versus
It's
Chris
fine. It'll probably
Jericho
get snapped
was
into place.
no, things were not as hot as they'd been during the late 90s and early
Goes
2000s,
there.
but there remained things for fans to tune into the show for when
Boom.
the biggest show of the summer came around. And it would be the same
Boom.
story for the 2005 edition of the show too, as in spite of overall fan interest continuing to drop, this was the one where we got Randy Orton and The Undertaker running
makes
back
sense.
from WrestleMania 21. Chris
That
Jericho
makes
giving
sense.
John Cena a solid WWE title
This
defense.
makes sense.
The infamous Eddie Guerrero Rey
That does
Mysterio
not.
custody of Dominic Mysterio ladder match, and the complete sand.
My favorite match of all time.
Shawn Michaels' performance in the main event. Sadly, however, 2006 could not match that same level of quality, as this show was the beginning of a several years-long dip for SummerSlam again, one which coincided with the continued dip of WWE as a whole.
Okay.
And it was here that we saw
So we need
Pastor
the just
Brian
piece
Flair and Mick Foley have
on
a
the
match.
back, I think.
Show defend his WWE CW title
Yep.
against Sabu, and D-Generation X scoring a victory over McMahon's. Having said
And
this,
then
we did get an awesome
one of them
event
here.
Edge and John Cena. But what about the SummerSlam 2007 card?
We have a little
It
pizza
was
in here.
matches like Kane versus Finlay, Batista versus the Great Khali.
I don't know
and
why we have a
John
fucking
Cena
pizza.
against Randy Orton in an all-around decent pay-per-view. As for the following year,
How the fuck am I supposed to
2008, while most of
get
the
the
card
pizza
was nothing
actually
to
in
write
there?
home about, The Undertaker and Edge main eventing inside Hell in a Cell was great. And the same pattern of things being largely
Doesn't
a
it?
one-match show would present itself in 2009 too.
It's got a
After all,
stud holder.
This was the SummerSlam where the card was not the strongest. except
Okay,
for the
well,
TLC main event for
might
the
help if I put the fucking pizza in
CM
correctly.
Punk and Jeff Hardy. And then
Oh,
in 2010,
okay.
fans would be given an
Alright, now you're just fucking with me.
like Kane versus Rey Mysterio and Randy Orton versus Sheamus.
Fuck this thing.
all serving as a prelude
Fuck this
to the
little pizza.
closer, which was the Nexus being utterly buried 6 feet under by Team WWE. So by the time 2011's edition of the show came around, this
Okay.
was less than 2 months after CM Punk's famous pipe bomb promo. And if you were there at the time, you'd remember the second summer of Punk was going off the rails here. And that would become ever more apparent by the time the biggest show
fucker?
of the summer was over that year, as Punk would be dropping the WWE title to a
Okay,
baffling
whatever.
appearance from Kevin Nash
Whatever.
and a Money in the Bank cash-in from Alberto Del Rio. Aside
So
from
pizza's
this,
and then
though,
inserted.
Randy Orton and Christian had a banger for the World Heavyweight title earlier in the
Shut the
season
fuck up.
in the match of the night. Could 2012 stand as
One of these to one of these.
show? Yes, it could.
It's just
Brock
TikTok
Lesnar
going
versus Triple
crazy,
H
sorry.
were very good.
Oh no, my bitrate is crashing. We're dropping hella frames. We've even lost YouTube. We actually just disconnected on TikTok. That's annoying. Well, we're gonna keep on rolling. Ain't much we can do to fix the internet right now, so all we can do is just try.
Really, though, it wouldn't
Hey,
be until
we got the,
2013 that we fully
YouTube
got
video
another
back.
great event, as that one was the best incarnation in years. That's right. Not only would Bray Wyatt arrive here to defeat Kane in a Ring of Fire match, but Brock Lesnar and CM Punk would tear the house down in the semi-main, with the only reason they didn't
Close
steal the
TikTok
show
for a second.
entirely being they weren't the main event of Daniel Bryan beating John Cena clean in the middle of the
Bruh.
ring to win
If
the
it's not
WWE
careful,
title.
TikTok's about to get task
Bryan
managed.
wouldn't leave this show as champion, though. No, after Triple H turned on him and Randy Orton cashed in his Money in the Bank contract, the American
Yeah.
Dragon was left chasing once more. And while he would eventually win his gold back at
Got some
WrestleMania
pies
30, injury would
hidden
prevent
in
him
here.
from showing up at SummerSlam 2014.
I don't know why.
So in lieu
There's
of
gonna be
him
no
being
other use
here,
for this
it
pie, I
would be down to
imagine.
2 matches to take this one to the level
Yeah,
of one of the
so
best
I'll put another
SummerSlams.
pie in there.
There was 2 bouts being an undercard showdown between Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose.
Our pizza pie is hidden.
Main event, which saw Brock
Don't worry about
Lesnar
it.
nuke John Cena with
Extra
some
pieces.
suplexes,
We'll just slide over here for now.
WWE World Heavyweight
I
title
think that's
in
all we
very
got.
convincing fashion. Honestly, there's a strong
me a second, I'm gonna
argument
stand up
that
and
this
actually,
is the
like,
most
fully
famous
readjust
squash in
myself.
wrestling history,
Fucking
and it helped to turn the
bother me.
Beast into the final boss of WWE for a few years there. Come 2015, though, even that status wasn't enough to see Lesnar walk away from his bout against The Undertaker the victor, and that wasn't even the most noteworthy moment of SummerSlam 2015. No, this would probably be Seth Rollins beating John Cena to briefly unify both the WWE and United States title, all with a little help from an interference spot from Daily Show host Jon
Okay.
Stewart. Clearly, there
Alrighty.
was a sense that the biggest show of the summer was
Back to
on
the
a roll
Caesar.
here. And that
We need
continued in
bags.
2016, when in the first SummerSlam of the second brand extension, both Raw and SmackDown turned out, with the Red Brand doing so by crowning Finn Balor as the inaugural Universal Champion after he beat Seth
This set is
Rollins.
actually kind of small.
And SmackDown doing
It's
the same
only-
by giving
ooh.
us AJ Styles beating
Ooh.
John Cena in the middle of the ring.
I just heard a
Classic.
terrible
And of
noise.
course, there was the much talked about
It was
main
like a
event between Brock
and that
Lesnar
shit
and
was
Randy
fucking-
Orton. Put all of that together, and you had
That's like
something
brain
2017
splitting.
was going to have a
Terrible.
lot of hard work to live up to. Did SummerSlam 2017 end up living up to this?
Why do I have a live
Yes and
visibility
no.
restriction? on
And we
TikTok?
say that because while the main event four-way of Brock Lesnar versus
Well, I'm
Roman Reigns,
getting
and Samoa
everything.
Joe versus Braun Strowman for the
You going on
Universal title was
TikTok?
awesome.
Give me just a second,
And
chat.
while Sasha Banks and Alexa Bliss was another
Being weird.
really good
My
match,
fucking Wi-Fi is
guys
just
like
up,
AJ
down,
Styles
up, down,
versus
up,
Kevin
down. So if
Owens
it's
just
fucking
didn't hit
bugging
the
out
way
tonight,
we
chat,
all
I'm
thought it
sorry.
would, and Finn Balor
I'm
versus Bray
sorry.
Wyatt kind of fell flat. And
Really hope
unfortunately,
not that
2018
bad,
wouldn't
but I
give us
don't-
anywhere near
obviously I
as
don't
strong of a
know.
main event to go out on, as this was the singles match pitting Brock
Exit
Lesnar
live
against
studio,
Roman
you
Reigns,
stupid.
where the big dog finally won the Universal title. Sure, if
Bro,
you
TikTok's
did that
already
one
trying to
week
reconnect.
Today, then people might be more into
Come
it. but
on.
Back in 2018, we were at the
Come
peak of
on,
having
we're not
go
even-
away heat with the audience. Thankfully, then there was a good undercard to make up for this. Then,
Shit,
as
my
that
Wi-Fi- my own
undercard
Wi-Fi be
was
pissing me off
Samoa
tonight.
Joe and AJ Styles reigniting their old team.
All right.
with the WWE
See,
title
2x3
as well as Daniel Bryan and
flat
The Miz
piece. I need
finally
another
having their
2x3
own
flat
singles bout.
piece.
Then, of course, there was the Becky Lynch
There
situation.
she
This would be
is.
the show where she turned on
Thank you,
Charlotte
thank you.
Flair and, in the process,
Should go
looked
on
into the man,
the
biggest name in
back. How
wrestling in
far off the back
2018.
we talking?
And she'd still be the man as SummerSlam 2019
Talking
rolled
one
around.
brick off, it
For
looks
that
like.
show, she'd be walking in as
Looks like
the
one
Raw
brick
Women's
hanging off.
Champion, there successfully
If I am
defending the belt
correct.
against Natalya. What else was happening at this event? Well, aside from Seth Rollins,
Yeah, it looks about right.
title from Brock Lesnar in the main event, the
Okay, so then we need
debut against Finn Balor in
a.
eye-catching
We need this
fashion,
bitch.
as for a while, he became
I don't know what to
the
call it.
most
Ramp.
popular thing in
Fucking
the
skate
industry.
ramp
So
piece.
eye-catching would he be, in fact?
And then we need to
Bray
take
Wyatt's
two
greatest creation
of
would
the
be Universal
little
Championship,
weird,
with him defending against
like
Braun
1x2
Strowman at SummerSlam
curved
that year.
bits.
Of course,
We need to
this show
stack them
was
on top of
hugely
each other.
hampered by the fact it had to take place inside the Thunderdome as a result of lockdown restrictions in place. And that means there's very little
Okay,
reason to
okay.
go back and watch this one
Pop
again
that
today.
thing right
Well, outside of
there.
the fact it was the night Roman Reigns
We need to
returned
make
and
one
began his
more.
new journey as the Tribal Chief. That's right. We
Not
were
the
at
Tribal
the
Chief, Roman
bloodline
Reigns.
of WWE, and it would be the bloodline
And his
who would bring
advocate,
the strong
Paul
when SummerSlam
Heyman.
2021 came around, with fans this time being in attendance once more. What was Roman
Okay.
doing here specifically?
Got that done.
He'd be taking on John
Now we
Cena
need
with his
the little
Universal
blue
title on the
pieces,
line
and we
in
need
the
a
passing of
wrench.
the torch moment. But that wasn't the only big
Taking
moment
out one
happening
side,
at
and then
the
we
first
need
biggest
two of
show
those.
of
We
the
need to make
summer
two of those.
post-lockdown. No, there was also
Give me another-
Becky
give
Lynch
me another
returning
brown
from
wrench.
pregnancy, a return which
Boop.
saw her shock everyone by turning heel
And
to defeat Bianca
then-
Belair for the SmackDown Women's title. Could
Where the fuck do
2022's
those go?
edition maintain the same level of shocking moments? Yes.
The fuck?
'Cause with this being the first big show booked by Triple H, we'd see the debut of Damage Control here. And on top of that,
is it?
we'd also
Hold
see
up.
Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar having what is, to date, their last match together, with the Tribal Chief once more coming out the victor in order to continue his run as
No.
undisputed WWE Universal Champion. More than
What the
anything else,
fuck?
though, what this event marked was the start of a true new era for the WWE. And that era had really picked up steam come 2023's SummerSlam, with this being the night Gunther's record-breaking Intercontinental title continued with a banger against Drew McIntyre.
Am I dumb, stupid,
Io
or
Sky
dumb?
cashed in her Money in the Bank contract to win the WWE
Treat me like a
Women's
bitch. Are you
title,
dumb, dumb, dumb,
and
dumb?
Uso stepped up to Roman Reigns in tribal combat for the undisputed
What the
WWE
fuck is
Universal
happening?
Championship. Sure, Jey Uso wouldn't win here, but Roman would end up
Hold
losing
up.
to Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania the following year.
Don't mind me.
And so, because of that, the
Staring
Tribal
at these
Chief
directions
no
a little
longer
hard.
had the gold when it came time for SummerSlam
1, 2
2024.
over.
No, right at the point the promotion
1,
was
2
absolutely
over.
on fire in a way it hadn't been in decades, he'd be saving his spot for a surprise appearance at the end of the Cody Solo Sikoa
What do
match
you
for the
mean
WWE
put those
title,
there?
where he'd inform Solo
That's
he
not
wanted his Ula Fala back.
fucking
What else was happening at
possible.
SummerSlam 2024? Well, Dominic Mysterio was turning on Rhea Ripley and, in the process, helping Liv Morgan to beat her for the Women's World Championship. And as if that wasn't enough, not only was Braun Breaker winning the Intercontinental title, but Gunther was submitting Damian Priest to regain his World Heavyweight title. Then, of course, there was the first in the trilogy of in-ring showdowns between Drew McIntyre and CM Punk, with that
I
bout
might have
CM
figured out
Punk
my
failed to
solution.
get the better of the Scotsman. Needless to say then, such a hit was this show, it made all the sense in the world when WWE announced the 2025 edition would be a
Don't mind
two-night
me,
event.
hold up.
And that's how, on both August 2nd and 3rd of that year, the biggest show of the summer spread across an entire weekend for the first time. How would this one compare to prior years? Well, while it didn't feel as hot as 2022, 2023, or 2024, there was still plenty about the show worth
Base
watching.
back
Now,
on there.
the main event of night 2, which saw Cody Rhodes beat John Cena to regain the WWE title, was a lot stronger than their WrestleMania 41 encounter. And in terms of night
Now that
1,
makes sense,
that also
actually.
had a noteworthy main event, as it saw Seth Rollins cash in his Money
like,
in the
what
Bank
the
contract
fuck
to
is
beat
happening
CM Punk
here?
for the World Heavyweight title mere seconds after Punk had pinned Gunther for it. The only question left at
Okay.
this point, then, is
Now
can
we've got-
SummerSlam 2026
Have what
live up
looks
to that?
almost like a
If
boat
it's
so
anything
far.
like events from the past, it'll be worth checking out, as
Look at
by
us go,
now,
look at us go.
SummerSlam has firmly established itself as one of the big shows on the WWE calendar, either number 2 or number 3, depending on where you place the Royal Rumble. And that means it's going to remain an annual tradition for a long time to come.
Oh, sorry. Not mean to bap the mic so hard. Those are bopped. Those are bopped. Okay. Live schedule episode 1 with Moist Critical. Best content on YouTube. Good vibes. What the fuck? Okay. Hmm. Oh. Why is my shit not want to load? Kind of annoying. Kind of annoying. Well, I guess we're stuck with some of this. What's this? Okay. I don't know what the FW drama is, so I kind of want to see what it is. As you can see, I'm a wrestling fan, so. I'm gonna grab a little snack too. Give me 1 second while that loads.
Right, so MLW, aka Major League Wrestling, is the craziest, wackiest,
Got some
weirdest,
Dots
and
pretzels.
most wild wrestling promotion out there today. It's a total car crash of a show, but honestly, I enjoy the hell out of it. There is just always something, at least one thing on every show to talk about that stands apart from the rest of the wrestling world, and recently they made their return to air with their weekly show MLW Fusion after a few years of a hiatus. We've been watching along and following along since the return for the channel, and it has been absolutely crazy. So we're back once again to talk more MLW Fusion as I have another 4 episodes to discuss with you today. That's a lot.
Well, I guess we'll be here for a while, so.
Start this video off with MLW Fusion Season 6, Episode 5 from 27th of June 2026.
I
from
hate these weird
Atlanta,
hinge pieces.
Georgia. As the show opens with some women's action, it's Top 10 Wrestling favorite Priscilla Kelly taking on the dominant Zamaya. On my last MLW Fusion video, I wished for
Oh, there's another
Zamaya to
hinge
face
piece.
someone more established on the MLW roster in a more open match, and I got my wish here. kind of. Zamaya uses her power advantage
Then
right out the gate, but PK
we need two
starts
more of
taking to her
those
with some strikes and goes
1x2s
for a
that we gotta
crossbody,
stack
but is
together.
caught into a
The
body
circular
slam.
ones, we gotta do 2 of
Priscilla
those.
returns with a crossbody
Well,
off the
we gotta do
top,
4
which
of those
does
technically.
land and drop kicks her against the ropes twice, and a senton to the outside,
Got
as
2
this
built.
is the most offense I've seen Zamaya take so far in
Say.
MLW. The first time I've seen her taken off her feet. Back in the ring, Priscilla tries to kick her, but it's caught, and Zamaya with a huge clothesline, she gets her up for the killer
There's
bomb and hits it for the
3.
1, 2, 3. Wow, that was
then-
quick, and Priscilla just took nothing but loses in the end anyway.
having a rip
I feel as though
ass
that
right now.
definitely should have been a longer match, as Zamaya took
Oh,
way
I
more
definitely just
offense
did.
than she gave, and this match didn't
Don't mind
really
me.
make her look strong, rather it just made Priscilla Kelly look kind of weak. Defo would have liked to see some more back and forth and longer length of a matchup there. The 3 minutes they were
Probably a
working
mix
for had
of
some
the
good
booze
action.
and
As
everything
post-match,
else that I've
Zamaya
had
is
tonight.
interviewed, but she doesn't say anything and she just walks
Totally
out.
haven't had, like,
Listen, I like
Mexican
Zamaya,
food,
I can see the
fucking,
vision with her, but I think the way she's been booked so far has
mac and
had a
cheese,
couple of missteps. We then get an announcement
apple
about
juice.
Fantastica Mania, the collaboration
Totally apple
show
juice.
with CMLL is finally coming to Fusion soon. This show took place like 6 months ago, and Austin Aries is then interviewed as he's the new openweight champion after last video, of course, and he announces that he will be beginning the openweight open challenge for the belt, as Diego Hill then walks in and announces himself as the first challenger, and he wants it right here, right now.
Well,
But
who
Aries,
else
of
would have
course,
wanted right here,
doesn't,
right
and
now?
says that Diego Hill isn't ready to step in the ring with him before Diego then drops Aries with a spinning heel kick to end this segment, and this match will happen later on the show tonight. Hell yeah. We then go to an off-site segment with LeBron Kozone and Satoshi Kojima, as LeBron Kozone is making his first MLW appearance here. Kojima is mentoring Kozone, showing him how to hit a lariat as they take turns practicing on a tree. This was a great angle, I thought, and this is the kind of stuff that makes me enjoy MLW.
Okay.
Kozone, by the way, is a great
We added
signing
2
that
so
NLW
far, then we
made a
added
few
needed
months
2
ago,
more.
and I've been really looking forward to seeing him on
One
the
to the
show.
back.
He was great in DPW, and this was some great
On the
business
day.
from MLW to bring him in. Anyways, it's time for our next
One
match,
right
as out
here.
comes Paul Walter Hauser, and he's facing Bryce Cannon, who doesn't get an entrance, so we know how this one is going.
Squash.
Dominates Cannon right out the gate, as Cannon does get a tiny bit of offense in when making his comeback against Hauser, but he's stopped in his tracks and Hauser hits a suplex and then a spine buster. He locks in a cloverleaf and Bryce Cannon taps out as Hauser wins in about 2 minutes. Just a standard squash match, not really much to say here. As we then get breaking news, a breaking news update that Bishop Dyer, aka Baron Corbin, is in a contract dispute with MLW. Apparently, he's playing hardball and refusing to negotiate. Of course, there was many rumblings recently about a Baron Corbin potential WWE return, which has indeed now happened, and obviously that means MLW has a couple of things to address, because Baron Corbin, or Bishop Dyer, is one half of the MLW Tag Champs with Dijak, the
I gotta figure shit out.
of course. So I'm definitely interested to
Take
see
one more
how
rip real
his
fast.
departure plays out on this show. But up next, though, it's time for the match that was teased earlier on, as it's Diego Hill, one of MLW's hottest prospects, taking on Austin Aries for his national openweight title. There's some games to start from Aries before Diego returns back with his own, as Austin Aries takes control from that point on with a headstand into a low drop kick. Diego Hill comes back with some good evasion and griddying before taking flight, but Aries evades it and looks for his own, but Diego then counters himself. Austin Aries regains control.
I'm
He
alive,
gets
I
up
swear.
before They begin a strike exchange with Diego Hill getting the upper hand with a spinning back elbow and various corner attacks. Aries comes back with the IED in the corner, looks for the brainbuster,
Yep, I'm
which
good.
is reversed by Diego with a springboard cutter for a near fall. Diego Hill then with a
There we
full
go.
splash for another near fall, and then there's a ref bump, and Aries uses the belt as a weapon, hits the brainbuster. 1, 2, no! Aries stops
That
the
cheating
pinfall as
bitch.
he wants to inflict more punishment. He hits knees to the head and locks in the last chancery, but that's still not enough in Aries' eyes as he releases the hold, hits another brainbuster. 1, 2, 3.
Oh my
Great
God,
finish
it's-
and a strong match.
Shit my
right
pants
here.
again.
Maybe
That's
my
fine.
favorite match
Don't
of
mind
the
me.
Fusion return so far
I'm alive, I
for
swear.
MLW, as Aries just looks like a horrible dickhead heel, and Diego came off great as a sympathetic underdog. As Austin Aries on the mic post-match calls out
TikTok
Mystic
again
Joe
said, "I'm
asks
out."
if he has his attention now, so maybe we'll be getting a big Opera Cup rematch between the two, but this time for the openweight title. Anyway,
And
it's
then
event time now as Hammerstone
little-
is joining commentaries for this one, and it's
little-
Trevor Lee
little
up
shebang.
against Matt Riddle in singles action.
Little
A decent
shebang.
event here, as there's some nice technical and based wrestling to start the match
excuse me.
off, and they go back and forth some more in the ring as
Okay.
Riddle beats him down in the
And then
corner,
two-
finishes off with gut wrench and exploder suplexes. They go back and forth with some strikes, and there's a big crossbody
the TikTok
collision in
disconnect
the
fully.
middle of the ring as Trevor Lee makes the
No?
comeback with a
What the fuck?
penalty kick, but Riddle evades his dive and hits a big knee for a near fall.
Shit, tweaking on my
More
second.
crazy back and forth
Goddamn monitor, then.
action with kicks and knees all over the shop, and a German suplex off the top.
Whatever.
As Riddle then uses the ref to
At this
shield
point, TikTok.
himself and rolls up Trevor
You
Lee
figure
and
out your
goes
shit.
right for the W. Yeah, a good and some solid action between Riddle and Lee here, as Riddle and Hammerstone get in each other's grill post-match, and Riddle knocks him out with a huge back fist to end this show. I'm
So,
going to go ahead and give this episode of MLW
Boom.
Fusion a 7 out of 10. This hour just totally flew by, and I definitely thought the second half of this show really carried it. A really strong second half to this episode of
Like, what?
MLW Fusion. But anyway, next episode. It's MLW Fusion Season 6, Episode 6, the 4th of July special. As
Oh,
we get
damn.
a
I put those on the
special
wrong spots, that's why.
episode to open the show, and we get an update on Bishop Dyer
I was
to
like,
open, as it's announced that
well.
Dyer has been locked out of
Oh, excuse me.
MLW. Which means that Donovan Dijak will have until the end of this episode to find a new partner to stay tag champion. I wonder who it's gonna be as we open the show with 10-man bunkhouse stampede action to crown
Okay.
the inaugural MLW Southern Crown champion. That is, of course, the new Southern
Now
Style belt
we
that
should be able to
was
do
launched
this
a few weeks
correctly.
ago, and this is a great way to crown the first champion. As your 10 guys in action are Trevor Lee, Andrew Everett, Ikura
And then that
Braun,
should leave
Beastman,
perfect.
Diego Hill, who I think should probably still
Yes,
be better than
sir.
Aries attack
Yes,
from
sir.
last week, but he's very good, so I can't complain that he's included here. Jesus Rodriguez, the
Hope I need the other one.
Ricardo
Hold up.
Rodriguez, Paul Walter Hauser, Festus, who I was not expecting to see again, Josh Bishop, and Matthew
Damn.
Justice. What an
Festus.
unbelievable lineup and blunt rotation this is. The bell rings.
Oh,
And
damn.
right out the
I
gate,
can't believe you actually said that.
going crazy instantly.
That's funny.
Just mayhem
I did not
immediately.
expect
Dudes
fucking
flying everywhere,
him to say
fighting all around the
fucking
outside,
dream
and
blunt
Jesus
rotation.
very smartly rings
Funny,
the bell
though.
again to switch Festus off. Josh Bishop and Beastman
Okay.
have a boss fight in the ring,
Put
as
that
Bishop
there.
has control of the ring and
Put
tosses
that
Diego
there,
Hill
Captain.
onto everyone on the outside.
Mhm.
Bishop is
Mhm.
then taken
Ooh,
out
that
by
was a nice
Justice
little
with a
click.
chair and spear
It was
as they all
kinda
continue
pretty
brawling
sounding.
around the ringside area.
I wish my
Hauser
body
makes
would make that
one
noise.
spawn in the ring, but gets flattered
Fucking
by
great.
Beastman, who was then taken out
About
with a bone.
halfway there,
Jesus gets
chat.
Festus in the ring to
Or
try and
halfway
pin him
there.
while he switched off, but Tom Lawler stands up
On a
for
little
commentary
serpent
and rings the
build.
bell again as Festus is revived and cleans house with a bunch of guys fighting
Oh,
in
shit.
the backstage
I'll be.
area. Diego Hill and Trevor Lee in the ring now go at it with an awesome
We need the bridge piece
back-and-forth
right there.
sequence. That is a singles match I would need to see. There's a dive bomb from Diego Hill, but
And then
Andrew
a
Everett breaks it
middle
up with a swanton.
two
Hits
bar
a shooting star
wound.
press for a near fall, but then Trevor
That
Lee
old
with
hat
a
of
cane,
wound.
and oh my god, that bump that Andrew Everett took was insane. 1, 2, 3, Trevor Lee wins and is the first MLW Southern Crown
Okay.
champion. Yeah, I loved every second of that. That was an awesome
trying to
way to
fucking fix
open
my
the
thing,
show,
bro.
and Trevor Lee is more than worthy of an inaugural Southern Crown champ.
thing.
That
So,
was just classic
it's whatever.
MLW right there, just a car crash.
So we're gonna
of
build a
match
window
that I
now.
loved every second of. Then we go backstage to see Teddy Long being
Let's
interviewed,
see.
Holla Holla player, as he
Holla Holla player?
who was unhappy
Damn, that's
back
crazy.
into the
Ain't no
front
way.
skyscraper. As Teddy Long tells him, Holla Holla player, no worries, we're gonna put you in a tag match against The Undertaker. He didn't actually
What?
say that, but I thought it would have been way better, as we then
That'd
saw
been funny.
footage early in
I
the
was like,
day
what?
of the Contra Mercs of the Good Brothers Shotzi.
All right. Oh, we gotta put. We
They're
have to
on
put
the
our
bench
own screen
having
in.
drinks and chatting shit to Contra.
Sheesh.
MLW, just give me Shotzi Blackheart versus Kushida right now. What is stopping you? Seriously. After that, we get a pre-tape of MLW World Champion Killer Cross showing everything
Okay.
he's doing right now, walking red carpets and making movies. It would be nice to see him on these shows. As come to
And then
think
we
of
need
it, he
2
wasn't
outbreaks.
at
We're making
all
ourselves
on this
what we
episode
call
or the last
windows.
episode either, and this is
Windows,
the world champ we're
windows.
talking about. Come on. Teddy Long then comes out to the arena, holla holla holla, and he talks about when he started out in
Shippity-ship.
wrestling, this is where he started, and he mentions how he used to manage a different tag team called the Skyscrapers, funnily enough, as he brings out LeBron Cozone, who is in action right now for his MLW debut match against Alan
That
Angels.
one,
It's
that
a quick,
one.
nice match here
We need some
as
2 ramp
Cozone
paces
just
on the
absorbs
outside.
all of Angels' offense.
Makes it
He
look
hits
like
a
we've
big
got
shot and
protectors on our
overhead
windows.
suplex, but Angels uses his speed and agility for a brief comeback. Cozone catches his cross-body attempt with a nasty backbreaker, and Allen with a quick comeback once again, but
Bitch.
again is also caught
Bitch.
and powerbombed
Get
to
on
the
there,
hardest
bitch.
part of the ring. As
Mother-
Cozone then
fuck,
finishes
there we go.
Angels off with a big lariat for
about
the
me, fat.
win. A
Don't worry
great
about me,
debut
chat, not
showcase for LeBron
Sorry, I didn't mean to call
Cozone,
you all
and I
fat.
cannot
That was
wait
not the
for
right
this
word.
guy in MLW.
Chat.
We get a little video package for Satoshi
Okay, so it's going on the
Kojima,
front.
and then Dijak is
Right
out as
there.
he is in action against Carl
But-
Anderson here in the main event of the show. This is a match that
There
really
we
exceeded
go.
my expectations. A
We're gonna
really
put
nice main event here as Anderson
another
takes
chest
control to
right in
start
the
this one
window.
off with a crossbody to the outside, but Dijak very quickly with a chokeslam on the unforgiving apron. Did I mention it's the
Assuming
hardest
right
part? There's a nice diving neckbreaker from Anderson before the break,
And then it gets
Dijak
folded on the
catches a
inside.
top rope cutter from Anderson,
Or on the top,
for a
I don't know.
spinning Death Valley driver for a near
Oh,
fall,
yep.
which the crowd went crazy
100% on the
for,
top.
and so did I. Then Dijak with the sit-out chokeslam for
I was
another
about to say,
big
where's my other
near
piece of
fall.
gold at?
Anderson then dodges the moonsault, and after a strike exchange, hits a lovely spine buster for a near fall himself.
I was like, I need my little
Anderson
hidden
manages
detail
to roll up Dijak
of my
though,
gold.
gets the
Okay.
big win from that. A
Are
really
they these?
good main event here. This
Okay,
far
we're building
exceeded
another
my
window.
expectations. I knew it would be good,
Nice.
but not that good. As right after we're done, Josh Bishop comes
Bink.
out and attacks Carl Anderson as himself and
Bink.
Dijak double team him and beat him down. As on the mic, Donovan Dijak welcomes
Holla,
Josh
holla,
Bishop
player.
as the new skyscraper and I guess the new
Okay,
tag
another
team
one.
champion. Josh
Bink.
Bishop is a new skyscraper. Bishop.
There we go.
That's how this show ends here. A really good show, I thought, from top to
Bink.
bottom. No bad matches.
So this
Every
one's gonna be a
match
hinged one instead, though.
was a really solid, fun
And the next
card,
one's going to be
especially
a flat piece on top.
event. In my opinion, this is
I don't
the
know why
best
that one's
MLW
hinged, but I guess we'll find the fuck
stars
out. That's
in
what the
MLW
instructions are
Fusion
for.
I'm giving it a 7.5.
And then it's still gonna
We've
have
got 2 more episodes to
them
go in this
outside
video,
bitches.
though, so let's see if they can top that.
Oh. I see what we're doing. I
Next
see what
up
we're
is
doing.
MLW Fusion Season 6
Now that I can
7,
see the
ha,
fucking
funny numbers
directions.
on the 11th of July, 2026.
Then we need a
As the
black.
show opens with some lucha,
black
it's
piece.
Magnus versus Titan to start this one off.
Ooh,
I always
excuse me.
love to see some good lucha in MLW, the best booked lucha promotion in America. It's big paced action instantly as there's dives to the outside super early on from Titan, but Magnus returns with a crazy buckle bomb that sends him spilling to the outside. That was insane. And Magnus has control from
Yeah,
that
fucked up.
point, and he tries to unmask Titan, which he very nearly does, and he's just doing some push-ups and gamesmanship, but Titan uses his speed to get that comeback
There we
going
go.
and shift the momentum of the match as he
Fixed.
takes flight twice. They have a power slap match with Magnus finishing off with a Falcon's Arrow, as Magnus then with a big superplex for a near fall, and Titan right after with some great acrobatics to set up the double stomp that he hits for a near fall as well. There's some more near falls exchanged after that, following some great sequences, as this has been a good opener. And
Nice,
the match
nice.
does end as Titan hits the running knees from behind for the 1-2-3. Very, very fun match.
Alright, one more window, it looks like.
Way to open the show.
Ba-da-bump.
As after that, we then
Ba-da-bump.
get a vignette
Ba-da-bump,
for
ba-da-bump,
Lady
ba-da-bump.
Frost, and yes, I I
Son of a
cannot
bitch.
wait to see her in
Son of a
MLW.
bitch.
She was one of the most underutilized people in AEW, in my opinion. Very underrated, and I was very excited when she signed for MLW. So hopefully see her wrestling soon. As we do have
Yeah,
some
be
women's action
John
up
there.
next, though, for the MLW
This
Women's title, as the
there.
challenger Kira is taking on Shotzi Blackheart for her belt. Hell yeah. They exchange arm drags to start this one off as Shotzi hits the 619 into a
I think every 2
cross-body.
seconds TikTok's gonna tell me
Kira
that's
tries to get the
disconnecting.
comeback going, but botches a handspring, and they probably should have cut that from
square.
the edit, as she does hit a big toe
annoying.
suicida to the outside right after though. Shotzi returns using the ring post before hitting a Meteora and then a big missile dropkick in the ring. A nice comeback from Kira though with her own 619 and a lovely twisting springboard splash and then a mad sunset flip outside of the ring. Oh my. Shotzi evades a 450 though and hits the question mark kick into a DDT. They fight on the top rope as Shotzi throws her off, hits the senton off the top and gets the win to retain in a really nice match in what has been a strong first half to this show. This match only went about 6 or 7 minutes, haha yes I know, but it was really good in that time and they really made use of those minutes, so fair play to both ladies here. Let's see if MLW can keep this momentum going as Okamura of
The outside
Contra
parts of
Unit
it,
is in action up next, taking on none other than LeBron Cozone back once again. They tease a handshake to start, which LeBron somehow falls for and gets an eye rake as a reward. They both trade exploder suplexes back and forth as Cozone takes control and any Okamura comeback attempt is thwarted very quickly by Cozone, and that's essentially the story of the match here. As LeBron Cozone gets the win once again with a big lariat out of nowhere, he is 2-0 in MLW and being booked to look very strong right now. Really good
So we
stuff
need to
so far from
have
LeBron Cozone. As
2
right
more
after that, we then
tallies.
hear from the new skyscrapers of Dijak and Josh Bishop as Dijak says
And
there's
then we go
nothing new about
opposite.
them and calls out the Good Brothers and Contra Mercs saying it's on site. As next
It's
up
on
though, it is
site.
the main event and the Contra Mercs are in action as it's the Contra Civil War. Kwon, Kananga and Kushida
There it
of
is.
Contra versus the Contra Mercs, like I said, of the Good Brothers and Mads Crow Kruger, accompanied by Shotzi. This is a car crash right from the start with all 6 guys
Okay.
rolling around the outside. There's weapons involved and no selling from
And then they'll
Kananga
need to
and
be-
Cruel, of course. About 3 or 4 minutes into the match,
Let me
they are
guess.
still fighting
Wow.
outside and yet to enter the ring.
Let me
They're just
guess.
brawling around as the fight extends into the crowd now. And finally, they do get in the ring as Kananga is sorting them all out by himself, but he comes face to face with Cruel, who
Bada
is
bing,
then
bada boom.
misted by Kwon.
bang.
And that's it. The ref calls a DQ, even though they were literally using chairs just a minute ago. Missed is where they draw the line. What? After that, Kananga takes out Cruel with a sidewalk
And
slam.
then
He
I
looks to
need
try and kill him, but Gallows and
a lightsaber
make the
piece.
save, and they all keep on brawling.
An
as
ore.
Bedlam and producers and refs are out
Okay.
there to try and break this up, and even the skyscrapers join in.
And a
too.
wrench.
And yeah, that's how this show ends with chaos, and I gotta say, this wasn't a great ending to me. Kinda ended the show on a bit of a whimper. I wasn't the biggest fan of this match, especially the DQ finish made no sense. They were just using chairs, but you're
Okay.
calling the match off for
Okay.
missed. I'm gonna give this show a 6.75.
Another
out
one
of
for the other
10.
side.
A very strong first half with Magnus versus Titan and Shotzi versus Kira, but the main event very much let the show down.
See, that's the bad thing about some wrestling shows. If you can't have a good main event,
MLW
it's not a good
Fusion
show.
Season 6, episode
In
8
my
on the
opinion.
18th of July is the Fantastica Mania episode as they collaborate with CMLL and New Japan live from Charleston, South Carolina. We've got World Middleweight title action to open the show as it's Templario, Alan Angels, Taiji Ishimori challenging Kushida for the belt in 4-way
Extra
action.
Legos.
It's fine 4-way action to open the
extra
show
Legos.
here as
Go over here.
Templario is in firm control to begin this one, but my main problem
Ooh.
I had with this match is that it was done
Alright,
a
chat, we are over.
style 4-way match.
50% of the way done.
Two guys fighting in the ring whilst the others are selling on the outside, and occasionally they will swap who's in the ring. This is a big pet peeve
Oh, yeah, this
in
thing is
multi-man
not so
matches.
big.
Kushida tries to unmask Templario, but he isn't able to, which I'm noticing this happens a lot on MLW. Towards the end of the match, there is a lot more action though, with all 4 guys getting involved, and that's where this match really starts to get good, with a really standout performance here from Alan Angels, in my opinion. But in the end, it's Kushida who rolls up Alan
Beautiful,
Angels
beautiful.
with his arm trapped and gets the win to retain his belt. A fine match. I just hate when multi-man matches don't make use of all the multiple men in there. And of course, there's another
Don't mind me.
unmasking attempt post-match. That's the third time in this video alone.
Ooh.
As right after that, we then see a quick video of Kojima on holiday, a very
Okay,
awesome
okay.
activity segment right there. Before we go to Shotzi's Graveyard Shift, it's her talk show segment, and the guest today is Scarlett Bordeaux. Scarlett cuts to
Ooh.
the chase immediately. She wants a shot at the women's belt as Shotzi says you have to earn it, to which Scarlett says, well, I have. And they get in each other's faces
Oh,
before
shit.
Lady Frost then walks in for her first MLW appearance and snatches the mic and basically says that she wants the belt too, with Shotzi saying she will fight both of them. So I guess maybe
Bitch, I'll take on both of you hoes.
at the next big show for the belt, maybe a four-way also with Zamaya involved, but yeah, a decent segment here to set that all up. As we then get a backstage segment and a
Okay,
backstage
okay.
promo with Diego.
Almost done with this episode.
Lost to Austin
Or with this,
Aries. He's feeling down
video.
about it, but Mystico walks in and uplifts him. And for our next match, we've got SoFly Manny Low taking on once again LeBron Cozone, back again for another match on MLW with some proper DPW Carolina action right here, baby.
Yeah, damn.
And it's a quick win here once again for LeBron Cozone as MLW continues to do a good job at building him up. That's 3 matches and 3 wins in this
warm.
video. Manny uses
Bruh.
his speed and gets some offense in,
Big
but
and
for the
shaggy.
most part it's just
Big
Cozone
and
slapping
shaggy.
the shit out of him and throwing him around for a few minutes as Cozone wins again with
got
a
big
crazy ass
balls.
lariat.
And he's
Himself
got
and
big
Kojima
balls.
celebrate his victory,
But
and
she's
up
got
next we
the
do
biggest
finally hear
balls
Kojima
of
talk
them
in this
all.
video as he is
I've
actually
got big
addressing
balls.
Kojima, who challenged him for the
big
belt.
balls.
He says the only thing to do is sign the dotted line. That's pretty much all he says, as I guess we're gonna get this match down
Okay,
the
got
line,
those
and that is
corners
all
on
we've
there.
seen of the MLW World Champion across 4 episodes. To me, that just isn't good enough. Main event
Beautiful,
time
beautiful.
Up next, though, it's the Contra Mercs who are out once again with Shotzi, and they're taking on the Skyscrapers.
Okay,
to
one.
handicap action.
And then
Or
it's an
are
up
they?
piece.
Because out comes Bishop Dyer. What? How has this happened? How is he here? What was the point of all the 2 weeks worth of contract dispute segments and
Oh, shit.
stuff like that?
There it is.
He's just here now? Yeah, I've got to imagine they've messed up their taping schedule or something here, and that's why this has happened, as this is airing after Baron Corbin has, of course, already returned back to WWE. And yeah, this is 6-man tag action now. And as a match, this was very standard 6-man tag action, unlike last week's match that got thrown
Small
out
one.
and it was just chaos. They do have an actual match here. The faces are in control to start this one off before Kruger and Josh Bishop start brawling and dueling, and then everyone gets in the ring and the match goes
Okay.
on for a minute. The heels then take firm control
high,
forward
and then a
now,
one high.
use quick tags and corner control
What the
to
fuck?
beat down on Carl Anderson for multiple minutes. Anderson hits a spine buster and looks to make the hot tag to Kruger, but out comes Big Damo, aka Killian Dane from WWE Sanity fame.
Big Damo.
Kruger from the
Who the
equipment,
fuck
they
is-
roll to the back. Interesting. The Good Brothers have momentum.
I think I know who that
and
is.
Magic Killer,
Oh.
but Dyer with the spear on Anderson, and Dijak rolls up Gallows with his feet on the ropes and gets the win in the main event. here.
Beautiful.
As that concludes the show,
And then
concludes
2
all
Ls.
4 episodes in this video today, and for this episode in particular, I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. I thought this.
Let's
episode
say
was
2
just
Ls there.
fine. And yeah, that concludes my thoughts on
And that
4
goes-
episodes of MLW Fusion today. We'll be back once again for a future video discussing another 4 episodes. And yeah, overall pretty
Like that.
solid. We had 2 episodes here, which in
Okay,
my
that's
opinion
cool.
were the 2 best episodes of MLW Fusion so far since the show has came back.
Page
But some
53.
negatives and
Complete.
cons for me.
Oh,
Right,
shit.
so MLW, aka Major
Well.
League Wrestling, is the craziest,
Well, we fucked
wackiest,
up.
weirdest, and most wild.
We fucked up there. Just slightly. Itchy chin. The truth about Fern. You've been bought out by private equity. PSYOP. Okay, I'm interested. I swear, sometimes Infographics should be hella fucking speculative, conspiratory, but it's kind of fun to watch sometimes. Okay, while that loads. Ooh. Oh, there goes TikTok. I should have known based on how slow the video was loaded.
You think you're just watching a blockbuster movie for entertainment. You're not. There's a 60,000 page paper trail proving your favorite movies aren't art. They are state-sanctioned psychological operations. The most powerful studio executive in Hollywood
Just admitted it.
doesn't work at Disney or Netflix. They work at the Pentagon. Hollywood sold you a lie and hid it in the credits. Number 12, The Humane Interrogator. Meet the Parents. You might think that the CIA's only brush with Hollywood is in spy movies, like Mission Impossible and Jason Bourne franchises, but you'd be wrong. Even a 2000s rom-com like the Ben Stiller and Robert De Niro vehicle Meet the Parents has CIA fingerprints on it. For anyone who hasn't seen the movie, Stiller's character meets his longtime girlfriend's parents for the first time, only to discover that her dad and his potential future
Damn, dude, the Wi-Fi bad tonight.
father-in-law is an ex-CIA agent. In Hollywood, authenticity is currency. The more real a movie feels, the more audiences will buy into the story. And the more believable the story feels, the more profitable the movie becomes. And that's where Chase Brandon comes.
Okay.
You
Done?
think you're just watching a
Oh, Jesus
blockbuster
Christ.
movie for entertainment. You're not. There's a 60,000 page paper trail proving your favorite movies aren't the movie becomes. And that's where Chase Brandon comes in. He's one of the most important figures when it comes to the shady connections between the CIA and Hollywood. He is a man so strange and interesting that you could almost picture a movie being made about him. A 35-year veteran of the CIA working undercover as a leading operative in the clandestine service. He said of his role here, it's not a career, it's not a job, it's a lifestyle. He's also a man who's claims to have seen definitive proof of aliens hidden inside the classified files on the 1947 Roswell crash. He later wrote the conspiracy thriller The Kryptos Conundrum and has an unexpected Hollywood link of his own. He is the cousin of acting legend and Men in Black star Tommy Lee Jones. But that connection is a little more than trivia. As a senior staff officer for the CIA, he became the agency spokesman and the CIA's official liaison
There we
to
go.
the entertainment industry. As such, he's played an interesting two-way role, providing limited
Bada bing,
insider
bada
knowledge
boom.
about the inner workings of the CIA to movie makers. In turn, he makes sure to shave down the hard edges of Hollywood's portrayal of the often controversial intelligence agency. So naturally, when writing and then production was underway for Meet the Parents, Chase Brandon was the natural point of contact when it came to making Robert De
Yeah,
Niro's
'cause-
CIA father-in-law character both funny and realistic. Chase happily answered questions that could develop the character and his backstory, up until one question that changed everything. What would a CIA torture manual look like? The plan was to have Stiller find one of these in De Niro's desk as the key clue to his former life. But Chase Brandon
Oop.
shut that down. He strongly
said no.
suggested instead that the film show a, quote, panoply of photographs of De Niro's character with different important public figures to reveal his CIA
Bada bing,
past.
okay.
Normally when a change like this is made, it's out of a sense of making the movie more accurate. But that isn't the case.
Bang.
The CIA has provably
Bada
created manuals
boom.
that provide instruction to kidnap and torture, such as the ones distributed to Honduran militants as part of the Contra War. This was
Okay.
confirmed by Freedom of
I
Information
need-
Act documents
what
released
that-
in
this block?
1997. So this change
And then I
wasn't
need the
just
weird
helpful CIA
one,
employees trying
the
to
1x2 with the
update movies
tail
to
on it.
facts. This is a definite
with the
example
1x2
of
with the
CIA
dick.
manipulating the writing of the entertainment
So I
industry
can put a little
to
flag on
whitewash some
on
of
its
their
little
most
dick.
similar elements. If they're willing to do this for a single visual gag in a 2000s rom-com, how far are they willing to go for movies that feature
Yeah.
them and their interests much more heavily? Number 11.
Now we've
the
got a
CIA's
flag.
own James Bond. The
We've got our
Ryan
first
verse.
flag.
The latter half of the 20th century was an awful time for the CIA in terms of public relations.
So we need a
The
barrel.
predecessor organization, the OSS, were lauded as
1,
heroes
2,
for their
3.
work in World War II. But by the time Chase Brandon was attempting to massage
What?
the CIA's reputation in the movies, they were ankle deep in scandal. From unpopular regime change in the global south to rumors and allegations
Oh,
of
okay.
involvement in drug trafficking
Nice.
stateside. They were a dark
I'm
shadow
smart
on
enough.
America's wall. So where
Toss your
better than
coin in there.
Hollywood to launder that reputation back into all-American heroics? This is why, in the
Damn it.
1990s, we started to see a shocking number of movies produced with direct input from the CIA. Patriot Games, a 1992 American thriller starring Harrison Ford as heroic ex-CIA agent
Nope.
Jack
Come
Ryan,
on.
was adapted from a Tom Clancy novel. Its portrayal of the agency was deeply romanticized. It was almost a cinematic
No.
love letter to the CIA. Tom Clancy was a good
Come on,
friend and
bitch.
a direct correspondent with the CIA, so Jack Ryan represented something that the
There we
agency
go.
had long dreamed of.
Got
the
one.
agency's answer to James Bond.
Trying to get both
A
coins in
marketable
here.
symbol to improve public sentiment and drive recruitment. Chase Brandon incidentally hated James Bond, saying of Bond, "You're not doing your job. The whole point is to not be obvious."
Come
and yet,
on.
the CIA threw their weight behind Patriot Games. They granted multiple visits to the Langley headquarters for research, and the production team were not only authorized, but
There you go.
actively encouraged to film there. It is the same kind of deal you'll see in productions like The Recruit,
Put a little
the Oscar-winning Argo,
lid
all of
on
which
it.
feature CIA agents
Put the
in
drink on
Hollywood's
it.
heroic roles with CIA permission. And while Patriot Games
And
wasn't
then
a culture-defining hit, the
it's going
CIA
to go
it was a down payment on a long game
right
of
here.
impressive cultural influence. Jack Ryan may not have the global name recognition of James Bond, but the Ryan-verse has stretched across 14 Tom Clancy novels, as well as spin-offs following Jack's son. The verse has 7 different
Boom, bang,
movies
bang.
where he's been played by a variety of actors, as well as an
A bang,
extremely
bang,
successful
bang,
multi-season
bang.
Jack Ryan TV
Uh-huh,
show
uh-huh,
from Prime Video
uh-huh.
starting in 2018. It probably won't surprise you then that this all
Well.
makes the CIA agents look like superheroes. And we haven't even gotten to the literal superheroes the US government helped to shape yet. Number 10, the Chase Brandon
That one
era.
goes there.
Recruit. Chase Brandon's work as the CIA's shadow producer
This is
didn't
going to
end
go
with Meet the
here.
Parents, not even close. His real power as the CIA's man on the inside of Hollywood began in 1996, where he helped produce
Yeah.
over a dozen movies and TV
And
shows,
then is it the
all while making sure they portrayed the CIA in the most glowing light possible.
Ah.
To your average
One
screenwriter
high instead
working
two.
hand to
Ooh,
mouth,
hello.
he might have seemed like a dream correspondent.
Hello.
He claimed to have a
There we go.
wealth of experience carrying out foreign assignments involving international terrorism, counterinsurgency, global narcotics trafficking, and
Counterterrorism.
drug smuggling. Now that's the stuff action movies are made of, providing you're willing to keep towing the line. Especially when you look at the timeline of Brandon's career. Some
There
have
we go.
speculated his so-called
and then
covert
two
undercover
more
work
high.
may have overlapped with the CIA's most controversial operations in 1970s South America. The same operations that he would later spend years quietly trying to erase from Hollywood storytelling. Brandon himself
Yeah.
claims to have been a technical advisor on multiple Hollywood productions, including
Why would
The
you not
Recruit,
try to get rid of the
Golden
fucking
State,
shit that
Mission Impossible 3,
makes
The
y'all
Bourne
look bad?
Identity,
What the
and
fuck?
Of course, Meet the Parents, as well
That
as
only
a
makes
sequel,
sense.
which we can't really say by name on YouTube. But there's substantial
Oh,
evidence
Meet
to
the
show that Chase
Fockers.
Brandon was a lot more than just the technical advisor on The
I think.
Recruit, especially. In her book, The CIA in Hollywood: How the Agency Shapes Film and Television, Tricia Jenkins
Pretty sure that's the
discovered that
movie
Brandon
that he's
was
talking about.
basically the brains behind the
I'm not
first
afraid to
full
say it on
drama
YouTube
script.
because I don't make
The
money on
supposed head
YouTube,
writer,
so
Roger Town, was
that
little
don't
more
really
than a
bother me.
puppet who made minor contributions.
And Twitch
One
don't
leaked exchange
really seem to
between
care
the two
about
during the writing
swearing,
process
so-
had Brandon saying, quote, "Okay, Raj, your time to rock and roll with the Medford speech.
Like I
I'm even
swear
gonna give you the opportunity
insanely.
to describe him." Incidentally, there's
Sorry, I'm
clues
building
of
Legos.
kind of
Maybe I
fun
should
and
clean up
rainy
my
theme.
act.
One of Town's other writing credits was
Drinking
the
apple juice
1999
and
TV
swearing.
thriller In the Company of Spies,
Such a
also
bad
made
boy.
with considerable CIA involvement.
Oh God,
You
no.
could argue that Chase Brandon
beard
simply
got
had a
stuck in the
passion for
mic.
writing and filmmaking, and that his official CIA involvement on those movies was
Ah,
mostly
ha,
incidental.
ha, that's what those
That
pieces are for. Though.
skepticism
Okay.
might carry water if the CIA hadn't attempted to hide.
Wonder how they decide like what extra pieces to give you. They're like, yeah, these are the most likely to get lost. Like, how the fuck? What science? What science are you using to back that, Lego?
It even dug up back issues of What's News at CIA, the agency's own
Okay,
internal
okay.
magazine, where Chase Brandon's name is redacted. But
Beautiful,
you can still make
beautiful.
out that it is his name under the redaction bar. In terms of the long shadow that Chase Brandon's
Age
career cast over
60.
Hollywood, and by extension, the public perception of the CIA, his role can be seen as
Alright,
a
let's get a little-
remarkably
little
strategic
sippy sip.
investment by the agency.
Little
But
little
this whole
rearrangement
situation
of
paid influence
our
over
loot.
movies is so much bigger than just the CIA.
loot, scoot,
It's a
and
hidden in plain
boogie.
sight conspiracy that stretches over multiple branches of
Move
the
our
US
ship a little
government.
closer for
The
y'all.
CIA's power and influence is
Sorry,
actually
I'm
just
trying
a
to get
drop
used to
in
the new
bucket
setup,
when
so-
you compare it to the raw power
We're
of the
learning.
Department
We're learning
of
as we go.
Defense.
Might be
Number
best
9,
just to keep
The
our raw
Blacklist,
Legos like
13
here.
Days. One of the
Normal
tensest
like set we're
periods in
working
not
on.
just American
Right
history,
here.
but the history of humanity.
So it's
is
as
the
close
Cuban
as
Missile
possible
Crisis
for
of
y'all to see.
1962.
But
The knife-edge tension of
we'll update on
diplomacy
progress.
versus nuclear annihilation was
Oh,
famously
yeah?
portrayed in the
Mhm.
2000 Kevin Costner thriller 13 Days. And that's a movie that you almost didn't get to see. The Pentagon tried to punish it for not supporting their narrative. We have seen the ways a powerful American governmental department can slide their propaganda into a movie. Here's what happens when you don't play ball. Making a movie like 13 Days presents two huge challenges from a filmmaking perspective. The first is the amount of military hardware you need to accurately show the apocalyptic Cold War tensions. The second is that because of how fast military technology progresses, a movie set in 1962 is
You're not taking a
absolutely a
repeat.
period piece. To maintain immersion for history buffs, a film like this has to get the hardware right. And that means period-accurate vehicles, weapons, and uniforms down to the smallest detail. And for that level of authenticity, studios often turn to the Department of Defense, drawing on both active expertise and museum collections of retired military equipment. Before communication broke down, the Pentagon provided some of the ships, aircraft carriers, and planes from the time, including the USS Enterprise and the USS Joseph P. Kennedy Jr. Other contributions from the Department of Defense include a preserved F-8 Crusader and Lockheed U-2 spy plane. The problem was the DoD didn't like how the movie expressed certain uncomfortable truths, like the Joint Chiefs of Staff pushing for a nuclear strike, a move that could have resulted in the end of all life and civilization as we know it on the Earth. Thankfully, cooler heads prevailed, but the U.S. military did not want the public to know that it was not among those cooler heads. The DoD pushed for the scene's removal from the movie, but the creators showed some moral backbone and didn't budge. This act
Don't
of
let me.
principle was swiftly punished by the DoD, pulling out all of their support for the film and their physical
Just
resources.
dying over here.
However, despite this clearly being an effort to make the filming collapse from within, the team behind 13 Days showed themselves to be shockingly resourceful. They used the Philippines as a stand-in for Cuba, including areas around Clark Air Base. It once belonged to the U.S. and it's now
What's up with this
operated by the
Script
Philippine
scheme?
Air Force. The
We'll keep
base
building.
also happened to have a range of older, non-operational aircraft on site, which made it useful for recreating the film's period look. They aged and refurbished the equipment and tied them to the back of moving trucks to make them look functional. And it worked. While not a box office success, the movie was well reviewed. Incidentally, a chance to screen the movie on a U.S. military base in Germany
There we go,
was
there we
denied.
go.
For the same reason, the DoD pulled out their assistance. Strangely, Kevin Costner did still
Okay,
get to
okay,
give Fidel
back to the-
Castro a private
the ship.
screening of the movie in Cuba. While 13 Days is a perfect example of the rejection playbook,
Okay, so on the
it is
front
actually just one of dozens of iconic
needs-
movies that the Department of Defense refused to support. These are just a few of the most insane
Okay,
examples.
I kind of see what we gotta go
Trump
here.
initially rejected Forrest Gump for several reasons, including the insinuation that a man with a mental disability would be sent to fight in Vietnam. This
Hey,
is
whoa,
the
whoa, whoa.
opposite of real life, where the military actioned Project 100,000, one of the military's greatest shames in a war full of them. They took mentally disabled people and then put them into units that
I say,
basically
yeah.
treated them as cannon fodder. Staying with Vietnam, they
Did
also
they actually- I was
turned
gonna
down
say-
a chance to work on Oliver Stone's platoon for displaying U.S. war crimes and incidents of fragging, U.S. soldier-friendly fire, which were proved to have occurred. an officer and a gentleman
Jesus
was
Christ.
priced by the U.S. Navy for making it look bad. The production drew so much concern that when the film received assistance
excuse
from the
me.
Canadian Navy, U.S. Navy officials reportedly made calls encouraging them to pull out too. The military left Die Hard 2 because the backstory of its Noriega-esque villain reminded them a little too much of the Iran-Contra fiasco. Both Independence Day and Mars Attacks lost support for not showing the U.S. military
Bada
as
bang.
looking strong enough against technologically advanced
Bada
alien
boom.
invaders. And they also declined to support Commando, the Arnold Schwarzenegger action film,
Commando?
with most over-the-top entries in the genre. The concern was that the backstory of Schwarzenegger's character, John Matrix, a former U.S. Special Forces operative, left too much room for interpretation about what his unit might have been involved in before the events of the film. As a result,
Oh my
the official
God.
reason given
Jesus.
for the rejection was the
That's
movie,
terrible.
quote, implied that the U.S. Army has or had a special unit trained solely for the purpose of committing murder and pillage. All of this might have you wondering, what is
well,
the military's actual return on investment for doing all of this? Well, the CIA and the DoD put so
Well, they
much
look
effort
better.
into influencing
Duh.
movies or freezing them out when they don't play ball. How does it actually benefit them when it all goes to plan? The answer is that the benefits are massive, with a capital M. Just like
Does it
a
get people
certain
to
end
join the
is
military?
great. The Captain Marvel effect. In
Or the
2019,
CIA
after the
or whatever.
bombshell of Avengers Infinity War, all eyes were on the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But one final piece had to be set in place before the box office smashing
Okay, so we got a
conclusion
poop
of
shooter
Endgame,
going on here.
introducing the last core member of the team, Captain Marvel. And after making almost $1 billion over its budget, the movie proved not only to be a huge success, but also for its secret
okay.
stakeholder, the U.S. Air Force. The titular Captain Marvel is Carol
That's interesting.
Danvers, a female Air Force pilot given godlike powers after accidental contact with an alien.
Not really, it's the
Naturally,
Air Force.
US
What the
Force
fuck?
poured considerable time and resources into the movie. The cast received
Mhm.
flight training from the late Major Stephen Cajun Del Bagno of the Thunderbirds. Additional support came from several major units, including the 412th Test Wing at Edwards Air Force Base in California,
Oh, I have a
and the
cannon.
144th Fighter
Oh,
Wing
wait, it's
at
not a
Fresno
cannon, but-
Air National Guard Base. Other bases and squadrons also featured in the making of the movie. But this deal went both ways. Brie Larson, who played Captain Marvel, took part in a promotional tour of Nellis Air Force Base alongside cross-promotional activity across official social media channels.
I built a
In the U.S., Air Force
sailing
recruitment
stiffy.
advertisements also ran in cinemas before the film during its billion-dollar
Mhm,
theatrical
mhm.
run. We now have
Got
the
a
hard
pokey.
data to know that this
Rawr.
whole song and dance worked incredibly well for the Air Force.
mhm.
It saw the highest
Look at
boost
little
in
pokey.
female applicants in 5 years. Disney won big for the Department of Defense on this one. But what if we told you that the company's connection to official U.S. government forces went back decades? In fact,
All right,
the
so we
first
need one of
prominent member
these.
the Disney Corporation to be in bed with the U.S. government was Walt Disney himself. Number 7, Special Agent Walt Disney. Walt Disney wasn't a puppet of the Department of Defense or the CIA. Instead,
I accidentally
he
sped
was
that
the
up a little
first
bit, sorry.
Hollywood insider deeply connected to the FBI. He even snitched on fellow animators and business rivals during the FBI's Red Scare hunt for communists in the Hollywood system. Disney's official FBI
Not
file,
the Red
obtained
Scare.
thanks to a Freedom of Information Act request, reads in part, because of Mr. Disney's position as the foremost producer of cartoon films in the motion picture industry, and his prominence and wide acquaintanceship in film production matters, it is believed that he can be of valuable assistance to this office, and therefore it is my recommendation that
Okay,
he be
page 71
approved
done.
as an SAC contact. He was first recruited in 1940 and would later be given the ceremonial title of Special Agent in Charge Contact in 1954.
Okay,
In
that one goes all the way
exchange for
down.
Insider Hollywood intel,
That one
positive
just-
coverage in his films, and free access to Disneyland whenever they pleased, which was genuinely one of the perks, Disney was given access and the right to film in FBI headquarters. The connection was really no surprise, given that Disney sent a kind of fan letter to the Bureau all the way back in 1936. This mutual fandom seemed to go both ways. There is an extremely
Little
creepy
mutual
photo
dick
of
sucking
FBI
there.
Director J. Edgar Hoover at a New Year's Eve party in 1937, where he's wearing a cardboard Mickey Mouse clubhouse mask. And if that sounds extreme, it
That's
escalated
fucking
again
wild.
4 years later during a 1941 animator
Oh
strike.
wait, hold up,
After
hold up,
Disney
hold up.
fired staff involved
Shoop.
in unionization efforts, FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover allegedly provided support that critics say helped pressure and intimidate the movement. The goal was to destroy the movement so Disney could
Okay.
get his employees back to work. Of course, government agencies are extremely particular in how they like to be portrayed in the media, and even Disney slipped up. The FBI was displeased with their more humorous portrayal in The Moon Pilot and That Darn Cat, 2 Disney productions, and kept Disney on somewhat of a shorter leash after that. Still, he happily towed the line all the way up to his death in 1966. If this was the level of government influence during the golden age of animation, it raises a broader question about how much creative control exists in today's era of gritty post-9/11 realism. And nowhere is that debate more intense than in films dealing with the death of Osama bin Laden, one of the most consequential real-world events ever dramatized in modern cinema. Number 6. The Zero Dark 30 Bribery. The 2012 political thriller Zero Dark 30 is a controversial movie, to say the least. The box office smash hit about the manhunt for bin Laden was criticized for using real audio from people killed in the 9/11 attacks. Its narrative was said to support torture as a technique for getting information out of detainees. But most of all, there were the sinister and possibly illegal under-the-table deals with members of the CIA for insider information. Writer Mark Bowl and the director Catherine Bigelow literally wined and dined the agents whose information they wanted. They plied them for insider details with lavish meals and expensive liquors to make sure that they felt comfortable sharing all the juicy details. You would think the result of this would be a warts and all expose that the CIA wouldn't want the general public to see. Yet, that wasn't the case at all. A Freedom of Information Act lawsuit revealed that the CIA and the Justice Department reviewed whether the filmmakers may have crossed legal or ethical lines in their contact with federal officials. An internal investigation was reportedly opened. In the end, no charges were brought against the Zero Dark 30 team, because the movie did exactly what they wanted it to do. Remember, one of the other major criticisms of the movie was the fact that it legitimized torture techniques in the manhunt for bin Laden. Well, who do you think was using those techniques? That's right, the CIA. After the gruesome details of those enhanced interrogation techniques leaked to the public, they were eager to save face. And if you want to do that, you're much better off doing it through a Hollywood blockbuster than some press conference that your average American will likely never watch. The CIA still made a statement in the aftermath, giving an obligatory disapproving finger wag to the whole affair, saying, "In the wake of Zero Dark 30, the CIA has completely overhauled its procedures for interaction with the entertainment industry. The agency created a centralized record-keeping system for entertainment industry requests, and in 2012 issued comprehensive new management guidance on contacts with and support to the entertainment industry." But if you think a meaningful wall between the CIA and the entertainment industry is really
pop that shit up
built,
there.
then you haven't been paying attention. But what happens when one of those agencies decides their best move is pulling the plug entirely? Turns out they can do that too. Number 5, the Ghost Projects, Countermeasures. Do you remember the mid-90s military thriller Countermeasures, starring Gina Davis? No? Well, you don't, because thanks to the DoD, it never got made. It probably won't surprise you to hear that the process for applying for the Department of Defense's help in making a movie is rife with red tape. They'll request a full copy of the shooting script. If they haven't been involved in the project since before the script was written, filmmakers can always expect an extremely detailed memo back from them with all the requested changes or the reasons for an outright rejection. And when it came to Countermeasures, which was supposed to be set in the general environment of the U.S. Navy, they had an insane amount of notes. They hated the fact that a nuclear accident on the Navy's watch was a plot point, worrying that they look incompetent. They also didn't like the sexist, skirt-chasing Navy recruit characters, and that's because the Navy was mired in a harassment scandal after a group of drunken Navy pilots committed atrocious acts against 83 women and 7 men in a Las Vegas hotel. It was an incident so infamous it became known as the Tailhook Scandal. But the ultimate nail in the coffin for Countermeasures was the conspiratorial plot that the protagonist was uncovering was eerily reminiscent of the Iran-Contra affair. A representative of the Navy noted, "There's no reason for us to denigrate the White House or remind the public of the Iran-Contra affair." They denied the production.
Hey, we got extra pieces with it, so add to our Lego extra parts collection.
The point of the movie was its aircraft carrier setting. No carrier, no movie. Similar moves were employed in shutting down the 1993 movie Fields of Fire, scripted by and based on the experiences.
Let's see how many extra Legos we get. 1,
Naturally, since
2,
the U.S. Army
3,
was involved in a number
4,
of horrific war crimes
5,
in Vietnam, U.S.
6,
soldiers were depicted
7,
doing some
8,
true-to-life monstrous
9,
actions.
10.
When the
Okay.
production petitioned the U.S. military for help, they were denied.
Ooh,
The
that's not too
rationale
bad,
was,
to
quote,
be honest.
that these kinds of criminal activities
be
actually
honest,
took
I
place
don't.
is a matter of record. But by providing official
Kinda
support to the
cute.
film, the
Kinda
Marines
cool.
and the Department of Defense would be tacitly
Not too bad,
accepting
not
them
too
as
bad.
everyday, yet regrettable aspects of
And we
combat.
did it
Thus, the movie
within
never
2
happened.
hours.
Killing a movie
Which,
that wouldn't have
I mean, it
helped
was
you
only,
is
what,
a cheap and easy
200
method of
something
DoD damage control. But what movie
41?
really proved that bankrolling a blockbuster
Yeah, so
can
it
change
wasn't like-
everything? Number
wasn't a
4,
massive, like,
the
it was
original sin,
So-
Top Gun. Top Gun was the highest grossing movie of 1986, which was a pretty stacked cinematic year. The Navy couldn't have envisioned a better high-budget advertisement for being one of its pilots if they tried. The movie sold everything: the skills, the excitement, the tech, the bonds and friendships formed between airmen. And this did not come as a surprise. The Navy had an extremely intimate role providing both equipment and expertise that made that first film
Well,
feel like such an immersive
chat,
leap
with that being
into an
said,
otherwise hidden
it's
world.
kinda late.
The Air Force even
I'm
had
kind of tired.
recruitment tables
We did 2
outside some
hours though
scenes in
tonight,
the
so
movie,
I feel we
just
like
to
we did
catch
pretty good.
anyone who's feeling
Um,
particularly
I know we
amped
kinda
up
did take,
when
like,
they were
a couple
leaving
days
the movie
off.
theater.
From streaming. Don't mind that. Just need a little resty rest. Otherwise, appreciate everybody who came out to the stream. Should be back tomorrow for some more fun, hopefully. More than likely going to be, especially at night for sure. Probably won't stream during the day. Probably be more of a nighttime stream per usual. You know your boy's just a wee all night owl at this point, so I just kind of stay up perpetually. Once it gets past midnight, sometimes I get tired, and it's one of those nights tonight. So, but hopefully everybody enjoyed the new little camera setup I had going on. Obviously testing that out. I think it worked pretty well. But literally, it's nothing crazy. It's just straight up my original face cam sitting on top of my desk speaker, and it kind of works perfect almost. So I don't know. I ain't got no complaints. But I appreciate y'all coming out. Appreciate everybody who stopped by. Hope y'all have a good night, and I shall see y'all in the next stream. Peace.